All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What up? What up? What up? It is your boy Jay McLovin, and this is ASAP Real Talk. Where we leave the opinions at the, or excuse me, we leave the feelings at the door, and we keeps it real. And Freddie, I really want you to listen to that mantra. We leave the feelings at the door. I understand you're happy and excited, and you know you got a parade going around your house with the Lakers beating the substandard Orlando Magic, but this is not the time for that type of thing. With that being said, say what's up to the people, Freddie.
First off, I don't get it, my feelings. Obviously, you're the one that's in the feelings because you had to bring it up.
Oh my gosh.
But what's going on, gentlemen? Glad to be here. I know Kenny, I know Jay, they both feeling themselves. Just a little bit, just feeling themselves because the Cowboys won them yesterday.
Hey, and the man to his right looks like Jay-Z, sounds like the Allstate man. It's none other than your boy, Philip Trost. Say what's up to the people.
What's going on? It's your Crescent City kid.
And down lower below me is none other than Ray from the Bond Chronicles. Say what's up to the people.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
And last but not least, my fella, Cowboy at Heart, Kenny.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Ray, you all right? How you feeling? You good?
Man, I'm so excited. I ain't letting y'all bother me.
Hey, quick check on the score. The Rams are up on the Cardinals right now, 7-3. We'll see if that score holds. But right now, we're gonna get this party started off with our NFL hot takes. My NFL hot take is Kyler Murray is the best quarterback to come out of the state of Texas. And I know my boy all the way right, Philip Trost, is going to say a lot of things to disprove that. But I like the upcoming potential of Kyler Murray. I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm calling you, Kyler Murray is going to be the best quarterback to come out of Texas. Freddie, what's your hot take?
This is really not a hot take, but this is like a little warning shot. You know, during the year, everybody wanted to say the Kansas City Chiefs were done. They wanted to say there was some that said there's no way they make the playoffs. There's no way they're Super Bowl contender this year because they started off slow. But ladies and gentlemen, in the game of the NFL, the first few weeks do not determine your season. It's about who get hot at the right time. And clearly this Kansas City Chiefs team is hot at the right time. They will be a contender coming out the AFC for the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say they're going to win. But right now, they should be the favorites out of the AFC, especially these last 3 to 4 weeks, the way they have been playing. Just saying that.
And you like that a little bit better than what New England's putting out right now?
Absolutely. Just for the reason why, because I've been saying for the longest. You mean to tell me you give me Patrick Mahomes, you give me Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, with Andy Reid as the head coach? Man, I'll take them any day out the week.
All right. Philip Trost, what's your hot take, baby?
First off, Mahomes and Tyreek in the doghouse because they've been killing my fantasy all year. I can't even trust them boys right now.
You talking right.
Bruh, first off, Mac Jones, bruh. Talk about a quarterback that fell into the perfect situation. This is my prediction right here. Patriots, Tampa Bay, Super Bowl right there, bro. Watch out for it.
From the Crescent City Kids mouth to our ears, baby. All right, Coach Dante, welcome to the show, man. Say what's up to the peoples and give us your hot take.
Man, what's up, everybody, man? Shout out to my boy, Coach Freddie, for always inviting me every time, I ask for a link. Shout out to all of you guys, man. Honored to being on the show. But my hot take is Mike Zimmer is done in Minnesota. He will be done after this season in Minnesota. I think he's a very good coach, but the problem is I just think it's too long in Minnesota. I just think it's time to break it up in Minnesota. So my hot take is Mike Zimmer is finally going to be fired in Minnesota. I think he'll find another head coaching job, whether if it's a defensive coordinator or a head coach, but I just think it's time to part ways with Mike Zimmer in Minnesota.
You think it's more so Zimmer or Kirk Cousins?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's more so of Zimmer can win big games, and I think more so Kirk Cousins is just not that superstar quarterback that everybody expects him to be. He just doesn't show up in a big playoff scenario games. He shows up in the Monday night games, yes, but I'm talking about in playoff. And when you need a win to make a playoff push, he doesn't show up in those type of games. So I think it's a little bit of both, Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins.
But if Kirk Cousins wasn't there and they got a different quarterback, maybe a better caliber quarterback that fit the system, fit the team, could get those big games, then does Mike Zimmer look like the best thing to hit the road?
Well, I think the only way he gets another chance is if they pulled off a trade for one of the big quarterbacks in the offseason. Maybe they give him one last run. I think that's the only thing that saves his job. If it's another year with Kirk Cousins, then it's a wrap for him.
Well, which is kind of what I'm getting at. I guess what I'm getting at is should they explore another option at quarterback before they let go of Zimmer? But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think that is a good take, though. I do think Zimmer's days are definitely getting close to being at the end. Bond Chronicles, Ray, come on, man. What's your hot topic, baby?
All right, you heard it here first. After Tom Brady wins MVP this year, he will go down as the greatest player at his position in any sport ever.
Yeah.
Behind Drew Brees.
Oh, boy.
You don't even believe that.
Yeah. And that's usually where the show goes awry. When those types of comments are made, then we take this wild sudden tangent.
Yeah,
it seems to happen on the morning show every day. We get a wild comment like that, and then we're 45 minutes on a tangent. So before we get on that tangent, I'm going to quickly sidebar to Kenny for his hot take.
Man, I got actually a two-part hot take. One part is local. I'm down in Jacksonville, so my first part is that Urban Meyer is on his way out the door in Jacksonville. I don't think he's built for a rebuild. You can see in his body language that he's pretty much, he's over it. He's kind of, you can tell that he's not for this job and he's not built for it. So he's out of here after this year. And then my second is something that we talked about last week, is that there is no best quarterback in the NFC East. It's none of the above. Everybody's inconsistent. Everybody, you can't. There's not one good quarterback. I shouldn't say one. There's not one consistent quarterback. So there's no best quarterback in the NFC East. So
glad to see you coming around.
Yeah, that whole debate is none. That whole debate is none.
What division? What did you say?
In the NFC East, there is no best.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you said the NFC total. My bad.
No. In the NFC East, remember we was talking about that last week. We was debating between Dak and Taylor Heineke, and both of them threw up a dud yesterday. So
how y'all feel about Dak, man? How y'all feel about that boy?
One had a lot more talent on both sides of the ball than the other.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna keep it 100%. Since Dak has come back from his injury, he's been inconsistent. Mm-hmm. The offense has not been able to sustain drives. He's missed badly on throws. So he's got to step up his game in order for us to be able to be a contender in the playoffs, because the defense is doing their thing. The defense is making plays. So in order for the Cowboys to consider themselves to be a contender, Dak's got to step his game up, period.
Hey, Jay, before you go, I got a question for Kenny.
Yeah.
And this is come off the morning show. Kenny, I don't know if you watched the morning show this morning.
I did.
We was talking about Urban Myers. And, me and Jay McLevin was saying that, Urban Myers need to be gone. I mean, just because, you call your coaching staff soft, I brought the point up where he brings too much attention off the field. With him taking another plane and all that stuff. Where do you stand on the Urban Meyers? Like, just go a little bit in deep on that, because I know you're a coach, and so you can bring it to a different perspective than maybe we can.
I think it's a few things. The first thing is a lack of leadership, because the ultimate decisions should be in your hands as the head coach. You should be the guy taking the heat for your assistant coaches. I'll give you a quick example. So I coach high school basketball, and we had a game on Friday night, and we lost at the buzzer. Kid hit a three at the buzzer. And, we were just talking about it, in our group text as coaches down the stretch. And my head coach was like, I should have called the timeout when we was up 5 to get us organized, because they came down and banged the three because we were kind of scrambling in between defenses. So the fact that he took account, but that's what leadership does as a head coach, is that a head coach says that that's my bad, that's on me, because I didn't make the right call at that particular time. And I think that's what Urban Meyer has it from the time that he's walked in the door. It's just been a parade. It's like a comedy of errors, from hiring the strength coach that had the racial issues to bringing in Tebow as a sideshow. Then this, he partying in Cincinnati, after the game. It's just been a parade of errors. And I just think that he's just not the right. He's not, because you have to, in order for the Jaguars to be good, you have to have a coach that's going to build a culture. And the culture that he's building is just it's laughable. So there's no culture there. So he's got to go.
Yeah, it's almost like Urban Meyers. The way he talks to people, it's like, you can kind of get away with certain things in college. You just can. In college, you can get away with a lot of stuff that don't necessarily translate to multi-million-dollar players, and the way they think and the way they act and the way they do. And sometimes you have to be able to, like I was telling Freddie, there's ways to motivate, there's ways to talk to people to get the most out of that person. And you have to figure out the personality types of the individual, figure out how to talk to them. And once you're going to do that, then you can start getting what you want out of that person. But every person doesn't respond to being called a loser, this, that, the other. Some people like that shit. Some people like being called a loser, and it just fires them up. But not everybody's like that. And some of those multi-million-dollar people, they got soft egos.
Well, Jay, look, his
biggest
problem is that he thought that just because in college, right, that he was a god, that his name held so much weight that he can come to the NFL and run the same kind of ship. It's not, NFL is not college. This is grown men.
Exactly.
Right? This is grown men. You got to adapt. He failed to adapt. He thought he could run the same kind of ship like he did in college, right? Blow horns and all that kind of nonsense. Like, no, it doesn't work that way.
And some people, it doesn't work the first go around. Look, man, when Pete Carroll first came into the league, he went to the Baltimore. Who did he go to? He went to the Patriots. He went to New England Patriots. That was his first coaching gig. And we all know that he flamed out and didn't do quite so well with that organization. Then the second time, then he goes to USC, does other coaching college gigs, comes back in the NFL with the Seahawks. Of course, he gets, we all know he got the Super Bowl ring with the Legends to do and so forth. And sometimes you have to take that step back and reflect and be like, okay, man, maybe the way I did the first go around didn't work, but maybe you can try the second round, but you have to change the way you're doing things. And I don't know if Urban Meyer is willing to change the way he's doing things.
Yeah, I think what happened.
Mike Hughes, we did say the coaching staff. So we didn't say the players, we said the coaching staff.
No, but the players were pissed off because they thought that they were being condescended to, like they were being talked down to. That's what I saw that in an article. That's what the players said. He called a loser, like Mike said, he called the losers to the coaching staff, but he was being condescending to all of the players, basically talking down to them, and they just didn't respond well to it. Obviously, Mike Jones obviously didn't talk well to it. He got pissed off. I think he left the practice facility and then came back. Whatever. That was a whole other issue.
No, I think the problem is, and this happens a lot of times when college coaches have never moved on the NFL level, or you can even look at NBA. You can look at the NBA as well. You have college coaches come in, whether it's you could look back at the Rick Pitino's and the PJ Carlesimo's of the world, and they come in from college and they don't understand that, you're talking to grown men, you're not talking to kids, and it's about the players at the end of the day. So I think, sometimes and a lot of times we see that when these guys haven't been in that environment, they just carry, like you said, to your point, Jay, they carry over that same mentality that they had in college, and it just doesn't translate to adults.
No, it absolutely doesn't.
I mean, and then again, I coach 4, 5, and 6 year olds flag football, and I coach 10-year-old basketball. So what I do, I just talk to every kid and just figure out and tell their mom what type of problem that they have, because you never know. You never know if this kid got a mental problem, because you can't talk to a kid like that. And 9 times out of 10, if that kid have a mental problem, he's not gonna basically respond that well to you. So I have to just figure it out. But at the same time, again, you're coaching grown ass men. You're not. I mean, you're coaching grown ass men. Whatever you got to say to get them motivated, that's what you got to say. If they don't want to come out and play, then I'm gonna tell you how you're playing. But at the same time, I understand from both ways. You got to be held accountable as a head coach. You're brought here to store some type of winning culture. And right now, it's not like college, man, where you can just go out and recruit great players and you're a part of a great college program that's used to winning and that used to getting to national championships. It's not like that in the NFL. You got to literally go through free agency and get guys to buy in in the draft and get guys to buy. You can in the draft, you can pick whoever you want, but in free agency, that's a different story. You can't pick whoever you want. You got to get guys to buy in. That's why I say, again, he's a way better college coach than the NFL coach. These are grown-ass men in the NFL, and he cannot handle an NFL locker room. That's just what it is. He's just a great college coach, but he's not an NFL. He's not built for the NFL level.
Exactly.
Right. And the biggest thing, though, is Urban Meyer does not know his players. Let's be honest. Urban Meyer doesn't know his players. I forget the article that was in ASAP's chat history, but there was an article where they were talking about a defensive player, how he's doing in the game, and Urban Meyer said, yeah, he's getting a little bit better or whatever, and the guy's like, the guy hadn't even played a snap. How do you even know if he's getting better or not? The guy doesn't know his players. That's the point. And I think if you don't know your players, how do you know how to get the best out of them?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what y'all saying, but I think there's a disconnect here to a certain extent.
Thank you, Ray.
This is a new coach that's coming into a completely new environment. It's something that's going to take some time to adjust, and the team is awful. Like, I could see if we thought that there was going to be some kind of expectation, like across the board, the team has been bad. And so this idea that you just throw away this coach after 1 year, and for what it's worth, him saying that to his coaches, what is their resume? Like, I think as the head coach, you can challenge their resume. And I think the point in that was saying, you guys haven't won and stuff is not happening. And maybe he wasn't happy with the way
you hired them. So
but how do you?
No, wait, Kenny. To Ray's point, he didn't hire these guys. He came in with an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator that was all already instilled.
But you signed off on them, so
but you signed.
But that takes time. You got to figure out that they don't know how to win.
Right
you don't
now,
know that great.
To Ray's point, and this is Ray. You were in the same place as I am. The same boat. We were talking about it this morning. For me, I was in a franchise and in an organization where the baseball team, and I'm not going to throw out the names out there because they don't deserve those problems, but they hadn't won more than 2 games consistently in over 10 years. And the second we brought in a head coach, he walked in that building and he told us straight up, he goes, I'm going to be real with all of you. Half of you aren't going to be fucking here by the time this is over with, by the time I'm done with this. And he was talking to the coaches too, our third base coach, our first base coach, everybody. He was talking to everybody from top to bottom. He goes, the good news is we're going to be great one day. The bad news is not all of you guys are going to be here to see it. And that's what Urban's trying to instill, is that culture of, let's talk about Jacksonville and these coaches who have been here. Now, outside of 2017, they can't even gather up more than 10 wins in a 10-year span. You're looking at 2-11, 1-15, 6-10, 3-13, 5-11, 3-13, and the list goes on and on. 2017, cool, you won 10 fucking games. Whoop-de-doo, you want a cookie. Like, you didn't do anything with that. Now,
he's not going to do anything with it because he lost the whole buy-in of his locker room. Not one player. Hold on, wait a minute. Not one player likes Urban Meyer. So if you don't at least have the buy-in of your players, you're not going to do anything with that anyway. Now, what if you got the buy-in of him? Maybe you
get rid of him.
In
like
what way,
Bill Belichick has done. You get rid
Hold
of
on, gentlemen. Hold on, gentlemen. One thing that Urban got to realize is like it's not college where you can go in there and say, "Hey, you have 4 years in your scholarship, where now you have 1." He can't go in there. These are guys who's making millions of dollars.
Not everybody.
One other thing that this does is, there's a free agent that's looking at your team, and he see how that coach, he see how Urban handled that. that's going to take them away. No grown man is going to let another grown man talk to them any kind of way. I don't care what it is. They're just not.
And think about this too. Urban hasn't won anything at the NFL level yet. So don't matter what he did in college, he's a rookie coach at the NFL level. He has to earn the respect of the grown men as well.
He's not respected. He's not respected.
So I could push back
move on because we're gonna get too bogged down with topic.
Urban and be
one thing we can all buy in on is one thing we can all buy in on is that this is Urban's first year and it didn't go well for him. And we can all say that Urban does have a very short, limited time for him to be able to turn this around and put whatever you say, Mike. Hold on a minute now, damn it. Urban can put whatever it is he wants to put in and get whatever coach, player he wants. He can make this team as completely his own team, but this guy's got a very short leash. Let's put it that way. Urban's got a short leash to make his improvements. So next year, we can all say that he has a short leash.
I don't know about that because
I think it's hilarious. So we're talking about fucking Jerry Jones and all these guys being able to have 10+ years, but Urban can't get 2.
Hold on, Mike.
That's Jerry Jones. That's a whole other ballgame.
Hold on. Kenny was trying to put out a point real quick. Kenny, go ahead.
Oh, dang. I was saying that the fact that if you're saying that I'm a loser as an assistant coach, I'm saying as a head coach, so are you. We all in this together. How are you throwing me?
Y'all taking it out of context. He wasn't talking about just this year. He's saying as across your resume, outside of this year, Urban Meyer has been a winner everywhere he's gone.
Understood, but this is
it took how long did it
take? Wait, that's not true. He has not been a winner everywhere he's gone because in the NFL, he is not a winner.
I said outside of this year.
He's a freaking loser
this year.
Yeah,
he's a loser.
I'm saying that I can push.
Right here,
Jay. I just want to know where your beef started with Urban Meyer.
This is why great franchises keep coaches through bad times because you give them a chance to rebuild. You give them a chance to establish their culture, their coaches, their players, their system.
He better hurry the hell up.
You got to give somebody some time. Why are you running? Jacksonville has been historically a bad franchise. What are you losing?
And he's coming and it's continued that same culture. I think that's
he's trying to change the culture.
I don't see when, but how? If you're one, you bring in a sideshow. 2, you don't even fly back with your team and you party after a game.
You can't party.
3, you throwing your coaches
martinis
under the bus publicly instead of talking to them privately and handling that privately. All of those things don't speak to culture to me at all. So I don't see what's there to build on.
And this is coming from a coach himself. So
no. It has nothing to do with it. I'm talking from outside looking in. I'm not a football guy. I'm a basketball guy.
Well, you don't see Bill Belichick.
I'm a basketball guy. I'm more of a basketball guy.
Yeah, I'm looking from the outside looking in, and all of these different things, all of those things speak to culture.
Right.
So,
but
you know what?
That ain't playing good. And if they were winning games, nobody would have anything to say. But because they're losing,
that's the main point. Jay, I'm trying to tell you, Kenny made a good point from a basketball perspective. Him and Coach Don Terry looking from the outside looking in. I'm telling you, from a football perspective, the culture, yes, he got a lap dance from a girl that was completely irrelevant. And honestly, I think that was blown out of proportion because I don't give a fuck what he's doing with his wife. I give a fuck what you're doing on this field.
I don't care. It's a distraction.
I don't care what the look is because guess what, Kenny?
You might don't care, but it's a bad look to his teammates.
And guess what?
It's a bad look.
You don't think these people are seeing people cheat on their wives?
You are being hired to win football games. I could give a fuck how you treat.
No, Mike.
Wait, hold on. You took an L. And you out there partying.
PR is a thing.
What kind of mindset is that bullshit?
PR.
That's the last place, man.
He doesn't care to win a championship.
You're a Cowboys fan. You're a Cowboys fan.
You lose your mentality. Maybe y'all have a loser
every year.
That's where you came from.
Every year you sit here and say, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. You ain't ever going to the Super Bowl.
Order the court. Time out.
Okay, hey, we're going to move on to the next topic. We just spent enough time talking about Urban freaking Meyer and lap dances. Let's move on. Let's talk about the top 5 teams going into 2015. 2015. I got Arizona at number 1. I'm going to tell you right now. I got Arizona at 1. At number 2, I got Green Bay. And I don't even like Aaron Rodgers, but I got Green Bay. I'm going to give him. And then number 3, I got KC. Number 4, I got New England. And number 5, shoot, I don't even know if I got number 5 no more. Mike Hughes may piss me off so bad. I'm just gonna go on 4 right now. You got my top 4.
Yeah,
Freddie, go ahead, man. Freddie, what's your top 5?
Okay, I'm sorry. This gets
Usa, Jay.
right
You
now.
got Usa, count to 10, count to 100, something, man.
Do the ear thing, man. Do the ear thing, bro.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
listen.
stress
My
ball.
top 5. Number 1, I got that Green Bay Packers. Y'all seen
Of
that
course
bad
you
Oh,
man
yeah, I'm out.
last
Cheese
night?
head.
Oh yeah.
Y'all seen that bad man
Of course
last
you
night
do.
making them throws, and he's a bad man. Ooh, hey, Kenny,
Of
tell me
course
what
you
was the stats last night? What was it?
Here you go. Now he going with his
Hey, we ain't got time for stats. Just give us your
Shannon
top. If you gotta look it up, we
He
ain't
had
got
a
time. Maybe you didn't watch the
70%
game.
completion rate last night. I believe it was a $145 in the QBR rating. I believe, I don't recall. That's I look at the stats.
Yeah, and the
That's
Bears
very
hung around.
reliable.
Like you making it sound like this was some impressive game.
341 in yards. Whoa, just lit them Bears up. 4 TDs. And how many interceptions? 0. Oh, this team is golden.
But it don't. But of course, that's so impressive. Though it don't matter who the opponent is, right?
Hey,
I mean, it was the Chicago Bears.
hey. All I'm saying is
It
You
was
always
the Chicago Bears.
you always discounting people's winning streaks based on the
No, I
teams that they
don't.
play. But now you're switching it up when it's your boy Rodgers. Go
Talking
ahead.
about a quarterback got a hurt toe and all, who's immunized and all, and they still handling their business. That's all I gotta say.
There you go.
Number
Go ahead.
2, I do have the Arizona Cardinals. You definitely can't discredit what they're doing, even though I have them losing tonight. The game is 10-10. This is a big game for both of them, but hey, they've been going through adversity this year with Kyler and D Hop missing games, still finding ways to win football games. So you get to have them number 2. Number 3, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 3. Man, they have been quiet this year. They've been balling. They've been going through adversity all year this year. People missing people on the offensive end, people missing people on the defensive end. They're finally getting a little bit healthier on the offensive end. Got Godwin back, got Evans, you got Gronk back. Don't know we don't know what's going to happen to Antonio Brown, but they're getting back healthy as well. You have to have Patriots number 4. The Patriots have been rolling in that AFC. Bill Belichick has shown you that it was not all on Tom Brady. That there was a reason why they called me the greatest of all time. There's a reason why we went out and spent the money that we did this offseason. They're on a roll. And number 5, you gotta give. Who's number 5? You got the Patriots. I got the Chiefs. You guys seen what they did last night? Just blew out old Raiders. Blew them out. Hey,
Yeah, but that was a depleted Raiders team. Let's not hype that up more than what it really is. That was a depleted Raiders team. So come on.
Yes,
Now.
but we not gonna act like they didn't go out there and ask for that butt whipping. They went out there, they danced around the little logo, being a little disrespectful.
They did do that.
Situation your team is
That was
in.
definitely a statement game.
Don't go out there and try to be. Do you know your team isn't really that good? Don't do that. Don't do that. So that's my top 5. We should all have the same top 5. Honestly, it's the best top 5 on the show.
Phil, what you got, Phil? Who's your top 5?
Yeah, Freddie got a point. My order might just be a tad bit different, but I got Tampa Bay first, man. Tom Brady making just enough plays at the right time to keep the offense afloat, but really, that boy playoff Lenny going crazy this year. Last night he had about almost 20 carries, about 100
Lombardi
yards.
Lenny.
Hey, Lombardi, he carrying them boys this year, and it's crazy. I want to put the Cardinals at number 2, but I can't trust the health of D Hop or Kyler Murray, and really, I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury, bro. He's another one of them college coaches who has a bunch of talent on his team, but really hasn't proven anything. So,
but he is 10-2 though, Phil.
Yeah,
he is 10-2.
You got the best record in the league.
I'm just saying, you gotta say that's something. That's something. That ain't like nothing.
That's why I got number 2. That's why I got number 2, right?
Okay.
Number 3, I got them Patriots, man. Hey, Belichick, man.
Yeah.
He's a cerebral assassin, bro. And Mac Jones, like I said earlier, bro, he's the perfect quarterback for that system. He's a game manager, right? Make just enough plays, give the ball to the running game, hit your tight ends, it's over with. I got the Chiefs. Like I said, Pat Mahomes and Tyreek Hill have been killing me in fantasy all year, bro. Inconsistent. But Andy Reid, he's an offensive genius still. The defense has been playing better this year than last few years, honestly. So I got them, and I think I'm gonna round it out with Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers. I feel bad. I feel bad that he doesn't have no offensive weapons, man. They draft Jordan Love. You know what I'm saying? They draft all these guys that don't help Aaron Rodgers out right now. So
that's right, Freddie. He said it. Green Bay at the end. Yeah, you did. That's not a miscue. He said that.
He has no help.
Phil,
we said that there's no offensive help.
The Bears just put 30 on y'all.
He got AJ Dillon.
And what did Green Bay do?
I actually really kind of agree with Phil's top five. So I like Phil's top five.
Phil,
I'm
what did they put on
over the word big Phil.
No, hell no. No.
My Saints beat them first game of the season. What's up?
Phil.
Whooped them.
Yes. But you know this like I know. The first game of the season don't mean jack nothing.
Look, our quarterback got injured, man.
Normally it would. He beat you so bad. He beat you so bad. Tom Brady's underwear went around his head backwards when he went home.
Jay,
so don't tell me that.
Jay, listen, you're talking about a Green Bay Packers team who faced adversity this year, who went into Arizona.
What adversity did they face? The one that Aaron Rodgers created for himself?
One of the best team without his top three receivers.
Double team Devontae Adams, and who you going to throw to? Lazard always injured. He dropping passes.
Clearly, they got more weapons because they got it done without a Devontae.
Well, forget about Cobb. Cobb is starting to play a really good role for him. But yeah,
I think he's hurt. They get the job done.
Yeah,
you got a Dillon behind an Aaron Jones.
So that's the biggest thing to me is that running two-headed running monster. That's helping.
I will say that Dillon is a monster. That boy Dillon is a monster for y'all.
I actually like him right now better than I do Aaron Jones. I think that Dillon.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a big fan of Aaron Jones. That's why they drafted in the fantasy league. I went after my boy Taylor, much better running back in my opinion.
I like Pollard better than Zeke.
I do too right now. Hey, listen, you ain't saying nothing I don't agree with. Coach Dante, who's your top five, brother?
My top five, starting with number 5. I'm gotta go with Kansas City Chiefs. They're hot. They're getting hot at the right time as well. If you're gonna struggle, you struggle at the beginning of the season. But right now, ever since they beat the Las Vegas Raiders, they've been on a tear so far. So I gotta put the Kansas City Chiefs at number 5. Number 4, Tampa Bay. They've been struggling a lot lately. They almost blew the game against Buffalo. If the pass would have been better to Stephon Diggs, or Stephon Diggs would have looked and caught the ball, that probably would have been the game. They probably would have won the game right there. So I got Tampa at number 4, and plus they're the eventual Super Bowl champions. I don't care if you beat them in the regular season, but in the playoffs, Tom Brady gonna be different. So I got them. I got them at number 4. I got them at number 4 right now. Number 3, I got the New England Patriots at number 3. They're the hottest team. They probably one of the hottest teams in the league. Probably if not the hottest team in the league. Matt Jones on another level. Pass completion percentage almost at 70. Man is accurate. He's probably put in the best position out of anyone in the draft, rookie quarterback, and he is playing the best. Not saying he's going to be the best down the road. I still think Justin Fields is going to be best down the road, better than him down the road. But other than that, I got them at number 3. Number 2, I got Arizona, and number 1, I got Green Bay.
Okay, I like that. All right, Ray, let's get your top 5, brother.
Yeah. You know, I gotta give some kind of guidance here. So I got Tampa Bay at 1. I've been on Tampa Bay. I'm not getting off Tampa Bay. I don't care what you say. I don't care how close the game was. I don't care about none of that. You got to beat them. And their defense is starting to round into form. They're starting to get more and more people back. They're just the best team in the league to me. And I personally don't think it's that close. Next, shout out to the Patriots going at number 2. That defense has proven what they can do when you can win a game against supposedly the team that's supposed to win the division by throwing 3 passes. I'd say less. I was hard on this team earlier in the year, but they are rounding into shape. Finally, their quarterback had a breakout game for me this year. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, looks like he's finally get going. They got the running backs back with Williams and Edwards-Helaire both playing well. They dropped the ball a lot, but the defense has been playing better as well. I am going to go with the Packers at 4. You can't scoff at the record. The division's absolutely atrocious.
Damn disrespect.
The division's terrible.
It is, Freddie.
Terrible,
It's a pretty
man.
rough division.
But no, hell no. Hell
That's
no.
right. That was a rough division. You lost to the
Trash.
Vikings for all
You
that.
always discounting wins based on who they play, but now you want to because it's Aaron Rodgers, you throw it out the window.
You
Arguably
act like
the
they
worst
played
division
only
in
in the
football.
NFC North.
I mean,
Freddie, you lost to a Vikings. You lost
with
to Detroit. So in all essence, you almost
I didn't lose to them. My
Detroit
team
by
was the
default.
Giants. Let's get that.
What good win outside of Arizona do they have in the last 6 weeks?
They beat the Rams. They beat the Rams.
I said in the last 6 weeks.
That's been less than 6 weeks.
Hey, Freddie, you put the wrong hat on. We're talking about the Packers. Go to the other hat.
No, I'm just saying, you know what team I root for.
Fair enough. And then I finish up with the Rams. I think they'll win tonight. And because I think they'll win tonight, I got them ahead. It looks like they're starting to get Odell involved. He's got 3 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. They're starting to use him in the red zone. It would be great if Henderson could stay healthy. Early on, it looked like that defensive line was playing well. I think Donald already had 2 sacks tonight. So I think they're starting to figure it out as well. And as these teams begin around in the form, they're gonna do what they got to do. But that's my 5.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Kenny. Let's get your top 5, brother.
All right, and yeah, just for clarity, since they beat the Cardinals, they lost to the Chiefs, they beat the Seahawks, they lost to the Vikings, beat the Rams, and beat the Bears. What we freaking do. So now we're all excited about that.
Okay, so I guess it's time for us not to be, as Cowboy fans, not to be excited for you.
I don't even have the Cowboys in my top 5. So
No. Do you like how Freddie goes straight to the Cowboys? You're talking about Green Bay, and he directly goes to the Cowboys.
Disrespectful, they in the top 5. Your orders it's subjective. Green Bay hasn't been that impressive. Period.
Okay, not either.
So my top 5.
You know what? When you guys come to Lambeau this year, we're gonna see what team is more impressive.
Absolutely.
Okay?
We absolutely.
Why are you so worried about what Packers do? I thought that wasn't your team. I thought you rep New York.
His season is over. All he wants to do is see everybody else be miserable along with him.
Was that a we I heard, Freddie? Did I hear another we?
Yeah.
Man, you know, Freddie took off his shirt. He's got Green Bay tattooed right here.
Is that a we gonna see? I heard.
That's what he said.
Ray, don't you come? Ray,
that's what he
you
said.
You supposed to be on teams. Don't you come?
That's what he said.
Hey, I'm just asking questions. I keep it.
I didn't say no damn we.
Hey, Ray, you already seen the receipt, so we don't
I did.
We don't got to go there.
Freddie, my guy, but he got a lot of Green Bay love. It's cool. Ain't no wrong with that.
We're gonna just leave. We're gonna let it lie right there. So my 5 is Arizona, number 1. Still got the best record in the league. And I'm not discounting them for having that. So I got them in the 1 spot. I got Kansas City number 2. I think that, somebody, I think it was Phil that said, they're peaking at the right time. The defense has rounded into form. These last few weeks, they've been really holding teams down defensively. They're holding down Kansas City the team defensively. They've holding teams down. And they've shut some, they slowed teams down defensively. And that offense is starting to round into form. I think Mahomes has figured out that he doesn't have to take, the home run every time. They're starting to, be patient with their drives and moving the ball down the field. So I got Kansas City number 2. I got Tampa number 3. I'm still some questions about the defense because of the depth. I think Tom Brady, of course, is probably your MVP between him and Aaron Rodgers. Their offense, of course, is very impressive, but they've had some close calls. So, the difference is Tom Brady most times when it comes to close games. So you still got to give them their props and they're defending champs. Then I got Green Bay number 4. We already talked that into the ground, so it's no need to belabor the point. And then number 5, I got the New England Patriots. I think the fact that they won a game with Mac Jones throwing 1 pass says a lot. It says that that Bill Belichick basically wants this guy to manage the game. He doesn't trust him he doesn't trust him in a big. No, I shouldn't say trust him in a big spot. I think he doesn't trust his arm in cold weather. I think that
or maybe it was a high velocity of the winds that took a ball going straight down the middle.
I think his lack of arm strength is the reason why he chose not to throw the ball in Buffalo.
I think it was wise. Obviously, it got him the W.
No, absolutely. I'm not.
They
I'm not.
And they got a run game too.
I just think I think that's the brilliance of Bill Belichick. This is
Right. Absolutely. I agree. Absolutely.
I think what that also says is that at some point we're going to have to see if Mac Jones can rally his team from a double-digit lead and bring them to a victory. I think that's the step that we need to see to validate whether or not Mac Jones is that guy. And we haven't really seen him have to do that so far this year. So I think that's the test or the hurdle or the obstacle that they have to get over for us to really see whether or not that this team is legit. Because we know defensively that speaks for itself. That defense is legit. The defense is outstanding. So I think that's the one thing that they have questions on. And I think they're kind of in the same boat as the Cowboys in terms of they're waiting to see whether their quarterback is the guy.
And let's not forget.
The Cowboys already decided the quarterback's the guy. They gave him $75 million.
No. I'm saying that he could prove that he's going to be the guy. Yes, they gave him the money, but he's got to now prove it on the big stage that he can get it done.
But I find it interesting that we talk about the Kansas City slow start, and then they all of a sudden they're ramping it up, and now they're so great. But yet, if you look at New England, they had the same situation: slow start. Now they're ramping it up, and let be honest. Tom Brady's got. Matt Jones has gone up against some tough level competition, in Tampa and so forth. So it's not like he's playing like nobody, and he hasn't been a double-digit lead. So I think that's why, for me personally, I got New England above KC just because I feel like they're on the rise.
The biggest difference too is that KC had a slow start, but they're still only one play away from a touchdown at any given moment. So they're still a threat from a slow start
anywhere on the field.
And, you know what I'm saying? So
I don't know. Hey,
and I think that other thing is that no lead is ever safe with that team. So that's the difference between them and New England. New England kind of has to play as a front runner, and they have to establish a lead, and then go ground and pound you.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with ground and pound. It was
not at all.
Teams. You can think of the Ravens Super Bowl championship team as one of them.
Yeah,
and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when they had Trent Dilfer and John Gruden, as another one. So that formula works.
I didn't say
you're a clock management guy.
Sometimes with that formula is the only drawback to it is if you get down, then it's hard for you to put together those quick strikes to be able to get back into games. That's the challenge.
I guess we're gonna have to wait and see, man. But I do think New England's is definitely on the rise, and KC too. Hey, not take anything away from those guys. It's gonna be interesting. I think as we get closer to playoff time, our top fives are gonna start getting a lot more interesting. All right, we're gonna move on now. Our next topic is the Lamar Jackson injury. What to make of it? I tell you, hey, the guy suffered a high ankle sprain in that game, and now they're talking about trying to get him back for the Packers game. High ankle sprains ain't nothing to joke around about. That usually takes a little bit of healing.
They said it's not a high.
Yeah, I heard it's not a sprain.
That's what they said. That's what they said it was, though.
Schefter said on Countdown that it's not a high ankle sprain. So
he must have came out after that.
They're preparing for him to play next week. It remains to be seen. But they said it's not high. They ruled that out.
I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, if you want to put your most competitive team out there, you're going to play Lamar Jackson regardless. What do you think, Freddie?
I know one thing. They better hope he can play because I believe they play the Packers on this week. Because if not, it's going to be a long, long day for the Baltimore fans because Mr. Rodgers, hurt toe and all, he don't have to depend on his ankles. Lamar Jackson do.
We all know the Ravens don't have a secondary, so you already kind of know where that game's going to go.
Ooh, he going to eat them up for dinner, and I'm going to be watching.
I know it as a true fan.
Yeah, okay, whatever you want. Whatever you say.
Walk right into that.
We. Say the word we when you talk about
I'm not going to say we because I'm a Giants fan. When we get to NBA, I'm going to expose you when it comes to the NBA topics, by the way, since you keep coming for me. But like I was saying, Lamar Jackson, he depends on them legs, real heavy. So this Sunday, hey, these next couple of days, he better not touch a field. He better be at home, holding that ankle up, and icing it, making sure he's ready to go because, hey, right now, this is not the time for him to miss football games. They're fighting for position in the playoffs. His team's going to need to depend on him heavily. So, hey, this all I'm going to say is it's the wrong time to get hurt.
All right. Hey, what you think about it, Big Phil?
Look, I'm going to say the entire league should be breathing a sigh of relief that the Baltimore Ravens has been decimated by injuries since training camp. Because they're still 8-5 despite all the injuries they've had. Marlon Humphreys, J.K. Dobbins, all them boys. So yeah, they're not making it to the Super Bowl. They're not going to win it. And what I would say is next year, watch out for a fully healthy Baltimore Ravens team. That's what I would say. Because Lamar has shown at times this year that he could sit in the pocket and throw some dimes. So I think the progression is there, but the team's been hurt by injuries all
Be
year.
careful. They're gonna come for you in a minute. Be careful. There's some people.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a wrap for the Ravens season. I don't know how much you want to push, further injury more to Lamar Jackson or whatever when most of your season for the most part is just I don't know. I don't get it. But Coach Dante, what do you think about Lamar Jackson's injury?
It's a big old injury. It's a big injury, especially for a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. He's an athlete type quarterback. To me, he's athletic. If you put him at running back, I believe he can play the position of running back because he just got so much athleticism in him, and he thrives by his legs. The best thing for you to do to Lamar Jackson is basically just keep him in the pocket. He has shown some stability to throw at times. He can easily throw slant routes. He can easily throw crossing routes. The problem with Lamar Jackson is the deep ball. He cannot throw the deep ball as very well. He cannot throw as accurate, but he just needs to work on that type of thing. His accuracy, his ability. He can easily throw on the move because that's what type of quarterback he is. He's just more of an athletic type of quarterback. And the Baltimore Ravens is having a flat season this year. They've been decimated since this offseason when they lost a couple of their running backs. Le'Veon Bell experienced, I think he was up out of there. I think taking that year off with Pittsburgh definitely hurt Le'Veon Bell. That's why he's not the same back. And I just feel bad for the Baltimore Ravens, but they will be back in contention when these players come back.
All right, Ray, what you got?
I'm not super concerned about it. Their division has proven that nobody really wants to win it. Every time somebody gets a chance to make a statement, they don't. I would not play him this week. You need him at full strength to be able to run. I think you can still win this division even with losing this week. So I wouldn't really overly be concerned with it. Lamar is who I said Lamar is. He continues to be that. I'm not greatly impressed. He almost cost me my playoffs this week in fantasy, so I was pretty upset about that. But otherwise, I wouldn't worry. They can still win a division. They can still get in the playoffs.
Oh, that's why you've been killing them. He's killing you in fantasy. I got it.
It is what it is. But,
yeah, that's right. All right, Kenny, what you got, brother?
Real quick before I go on that, let me just want to talk to my guy John Suggs. He asked a question on the Dolphins. I think that they got a long road. That's going to be a tough road for them to make the playoffs, because they got Buffalo ahead of them. And I was looking at their schedule. They probably got 2 winnable games with the Saints and the Jets. But then they got the Titans and the Patriots. And
don't say that too lightly, Kenny. Don't say that too lightly now, man.
Oh, I mean, no disrespect, but I'm just saying those are probably the 2 winnable games out of between them and the Titans and the Patriots. So out of those 4 games, I think those are the 2 winnable. So I think best case scenario, you probably split those, and then you're still a game back from Buffalo. So they're going to need some help to be able to get into the playoffs. So having said that, I think I'm with Ray. I think with ankles, if the fact that he's in a boot, and the fact that he couldn't put any weight on it, that's a bad sign. I'm sure he's going to get all the treatment in the world. He's going to get 24/7 in terms of treatment. But I think you hold him out this week because Cincinnati's been sliding. We know what the Steelers are. They're pretty much done. So this is I think they can afford to lose another game and still be okay because no one trusts the Cincinnati Bengals. So this could be one of those things that could go all the way to the end of the season. And so I think you want to have the best version of Lamar Jackson if you're going to try to make that run towards the end. So I think you may hold him out this week, rehab him, see if you could get him as close to 100%. Well, of course, he's not going to be 100%, but get him as healthy as you can, get him as mobile as you can, because he's not the same quarterback if he can't use his legs. So,
and to Kenny's point, I just did some research real quick. Ankle injuries tend to be reoccurring too, so this could be a common theme for the rest of his career if they're not careful with the rehab on that too.
Hey, Kenny, question for you. Josh Allen, I think, went to the press conference in a boot as well. They got the Jets, Falcons, Patriots, and Panthers. Should they sit him this week versus the Panthers?
Shucks. They could sit him for. You said what was the schedule?
They play Panthers this week, then they go to New England, then they finish with the Falcons and Jets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they could sit him. I would sit him this weekend to get him ready for the Patriots because you got to have that game. You got to have that game, and you're counting on that Jets win. So I think you sit him to try to strategize for that home stretch.
All right, we're gonna move on now. Hey, let's talk about this Derek Carr and the Raiders. Should they move on from him? I personally don't think so. I didn't think Derek Carr is the main issue. I think it's just the fact that you have a depleted team and you change your obviously your coach mid-season. So I think there's still. I think Derek Carr, like I said, is a fine quarterback. I just think they just need to build the team around him. Freddie, what do you think? Is it time to move on from Carr?
Man, you talking about the most dysfunctional franchise, even more than the Dallas Cowboys, and that's hard for me to say. That's
Watch
really
your
hard
mouth,
for me
Freddie.
to say.
Watch your mouth.
I know it is.
Listen here. We used to say I used to say what can go wrong will go wrong when it comes towards the Cowboys. Well, we can't say that anymore. What we can say about the Raiders, we've seen a lot go wrong. I'm not just talking about this year. I'm talking about the last couple years. We see this team, they go on a hot run, they start the season off hot, then they typically around November, December, they start to fold, they start to crumble. They got rid of John Gruden, for the reasons they did, understand you losing Henry Ruggs and all that. I understand that. But eventually you just have to restart. And I think they have met that I believe they have reached their peak of how far this team can really go. I don't see this team competing deep in the playoffs. I don't even see them getting to a Super Bowl. So if I was the Raiders, I'm starting over. Say, Carr, hey, we love you. Gotta move on. We gotta, look out for another franchise quarterback. We'll get some draft picks out of you. Because eventually he's gonna leave once he's free to go, or eventually he's not going to be too loyal to their franchise because no man wants to sit up and lose every week, every year. They don't want to do that. So I think it's time for, like we say with Pete Carroll down there in Seattle, it's time for a new voice. We say the same thing about Seattle, that his voice is getting old. It's time for a new quarterback down there in Vegas.
What do you think, Big Phil?
I agree, but I don't think you get rid of him this year. I think this year is a very weak class for quarterbacks. You got Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, Carson Strong, a bunch of mid-tier quarterbacks, in my opinion. But I agree with Freddie. He's been there 8 years now. While he's an above-average quarterback, what's the difference between him and Kirk Cousins, right? I think it's time for some new voice, some fresh energy in the huddle, especially with all the off-the-field stuff with Henry Ruggs and John Gruden. Get a young kid in there, get some excitement in the building. Just going a new direction. They still got Darren Waller. He's a good guy. Zay Jones. They got some good pieces on offense, some buttons guys on defense. With that one safety or corner, I forget his name. But they got some good pieces in place. But I think after 22, when you got Spencer Rattler coming out, you got some guys coming out in the draft, that's the year to attack it, but not this year.
Okay, Coach Dante, what do you think about Carr?
Really, Derek Carr doesn't actually have the receivers. Number one receiver he never actually really had, but Amari Cooper. But Amari Cooper, you're not going to call him you're not going to call him a elite receiver because he doesn't show up in big time situations. You had Michael Crabtree, yes, you did, but I will blow it up from the ground up. I will do it for the sake of basically Derek Carr. Man, I think it's time. I think the Raiders organization had their time. And the way they look Sunday, they look pathetic on Sunday on both sides of the football. You don't have an offensive line. Abrams, can he come up and hit? But he damn sure can't cover anybody in the secondary. So that's one thing he could do is hit, but he can't cover anybody. So yes, I'm agreeing with blowing the whole entire organization up. You have your Spencer Rattler coming out in 2022 draft. You have Brock Purdy this year. I don't think nobody will trade up and be in a rush to get a quarterback this year. So yeah, I believe you just blow it up. You just blow it up this year. You're gonna have to. It's just lasted too long.
I want to answer to this comment. Yes, Joe Judge should be the coach for the New York Giants this of next year. Why is
I'm
that?
sorry.
Because we can't judge the man until we put the rest of the recipe together in New York. Once we get this man an O line, once then we can judge Daniel Jones and Saquon to see what they can do. Right now we can't judge them. Kenny's up here sitting up here laughing like he have any damn reason to
Because
laugh
it's
when he
garbage
Hey,
talking about
soup.
hey, let me. Hey, hold on,
It's
hold on.
garbage soup. What is he?
Saquon's approaching bust status,
Yeah,
huh?
Listen.
He's
Let
been
me
trying
just
to fix
say,
that
hey,
offensive
listen,
line for 10 years.
Freddie, Joe Judge is like a military MRE. It's about 7 months stale. It's done.
and
It's
guess what?
cooked.
My coach is
It ain't
better than
done.
old Mike McCarthy.
I never said I like Mike
I don't
McCarthy
know
either.
about that.
Hey, but we're winning, so what difference does it matter? We're
One of
still
them
winning.
got
I
a
don't get
Super
that.
Bowl.
We're not really all that stale because we're winning and you're losing. So I don't get that compliment. But okay, I'll let you have it.
You win.
Hey, where we leave off? Kenny, or is it Ray? Did we get you already?
Nah.
All right, Ray. Ray, what do you think about this?
I think I feel similar to how I felt about Bradley Beal in Washington and Dame Lillard in Portland. I think the players can play. I just think the organizations are in a position they can't allow them to win. So I think they should move on, not because I think Derek Carr's not a good quarterback. I just don't think they are in a position to help him win. And so I think he deserves the right to go somewhere and win, similar to what Detroit did with Matt Stafford. Like, the man's talented. Go get him, send him somewhere, or allow him to go where he can go get some weapons around him. I think there's a ton of openings we've talked about on this show. I think there's a quarterback carousel. The only question I have if I'm Mark Davis is you play in Vegas. So them ticket prices is ridiculous. You need to put somebody on the field. So I do think you have to, if you let him go, you got to be able to sell tickets with somebody's name. And outside of Derek Carr, there's not really a name that's going to sell any tickets. So I think that's definitely something to think about. But as a football standpoint, let him go, let him move on, blow it up. But you do need to try and go get some kind of star because y'all have given away all the other stars you've had.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Absolutely. Kenny, what you got?
I actually think they should keep Carr. I think they need to blow up the front office. I think I think Mayock needs to go right along with John Gruden because this team that they built is just haven't surrounded him with enough talent. Besides Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs, in terms of skill positions, what have they done in terms of putting around them? They haven't.
The one bright spot you may got is Hunter Winthrop, but your slot receiver can't be your best. Your slot can't be your best receiver. Your slot cannot be your best receiver.
Exactly. He's
an integral piece. Him and Waller with Jacobs, that's a great start. You just need a number one.
That's what I'm saying. He's a 3. So you get a number one.
Yeah, number one in the defense.
You got a high draft pick. I think, coming because they're basically on a slide now that's going to put them in a position to perhaps be in the top 10. So, you bring in the right head coach. You bring in the right GM. You bring in the right head coach. I love John Suggs' suggestion of Byron Leftwich. I would love to see him get an opportunity. And of course, Eric Bieniemy. And you bring a coach in there that can really rejuvenate and really, get that offense high power or get that offense powered up. Get some talent around him. I think Derek Carr can be a quality quarterback. It was in the beginning of the season, we were talking about in the last 2 seasons, they've gotten off to these quick starts. And we've talked about how well Derek Carr was playing. And I think they just wound up just fading because of the lack of talent. So I think if you get enough talent around him, to your point, Ray, like a Matt Stafford, when he, got to LA and with all those pieces that they had there, we saw how much better he was. I think if you get Derek Carr and you get a number one receiver to go with Renfro, to go with Waller, to go with Josh Jacobs, I think you might see a different Derek Carr. I think you might be able to have sustained success. I think the only problem is to Freddie's point, is that it's been so dysfunctional. You gotta be able to have that two-headed monster in terms of head coach and GM. Like, this offseason is going to be crucial. You got to put a combination together that's going to build that franchise and it's going to build that winning culture because it hasn't been there in God knows how many years.
Yeah, but I disagree on. I think the fading isn't talent. I think the fading has been coaching. I think we've named some people and talent that's been brought in. I don't think Mayock's the problem. And for what it's worth, if you want somebody to bring in new talent, he should be one of the guys that can find it since he was the draft guy for so many years. I think they've drafted relatively well on both sides of the ball. The Ruggs thing just didn't work out, but he had flashes in his time.
Did.
And so I think that.
But I think he was a 2.
I agree. But I think given where they took him and what they had, I don't think it was a bad draft pick. I don't think they really had bad drafts, to be honest. I just think they are missing that number one. And then the offensive line needs some work as well. But I think they've been competitive for a lot of times. I think the coaching and by all accounts, John Gruden has been somebody that will wear people down. So I think they get a better coach. I like Leftwich, Bieniemy. There's some other ones out there that I think could really take this offense to the next level. I just don't know how many more years Derek Carr has, which is why I would say I think in the best interest they should let him go. But if they can go get a top-tier offensive-minded head coach and play a little bit of defense with a better number one, I think they can do some things in that division.
Well, let's talk about a different quarterback this go around. Aaron Rodgers, does he leave after this year? I'm torn because he's been with that franchise for so long. I don't know how much of his loyalty is still left there. I'd like to see him go on to a different spot. I'd like to see him go to Miami or somebody. I mean, you got a lot of other quarterbacks that are getting ready to come out into free agency as well. But I think in the end of the day, I think Rodgers is gonna wind up staying in green and gold. What do you think, Freddie? You're muted.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, you're still muted.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Another pick.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Hey, we're gonna go to Phil Cross. We'll come back to Freddie. Hey, what do you think? Is he going? Is he staying? What's he doing?
I think it's tough. But I think he's gone. I mean, even though this second year Matt LaFleur's offense was better, they're winning games. His heart's not in it. We saw what happened this offseason. We saw the dysfunction between him and the front office. I think he's out of here, man.
Right, absolutely. Coach Dante?
I think if I had to guess, I think it's too much friction between him and the front office. Him and the front office is clear they don't get along. It's clear that when he goes up to the front office and asks, you should at least hear me out about the players that I want you to go get, and which is he's been carrying your franchise for a long time. So why shouldn't you at least consider listening to him? I think he's done in Green Bay. I think he's gonna look for the Denver Broncos. They're probably a quarterback away, and look for Devontae Adams to be out the door with him because they have not paid him as well. When he asked, they said they came out and said they're not going to pay him. So look for Devontae Adams wherever Aaron Rodgers land. Look for what Devontae Adams. That's what Devontae Adams may be landing at.
Hey,
Freddie, what you got? All right, what you got, Freddie?
Listen, man. I don't really know what this man just said because to me, he done lied twice. First, he came out and said that he ain't coming back. He wanted to be traded. Well, he came back. You see what he's back playing football. And number two, the man said he's immunized. So can we really trust anything this man really say come out his mouth? I mean, I like him as a quarterback, I love him as a player. But I mean, as a man,
bad word about Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, he lied. I mean, the man lied.
Wow.
So
Freddie said he loves him as a quarterback, just not as a human being. It's okay. It's all love.
So I mean, can I really trust what comes out the man's mouth? I mean, I'm not too sure he's not too happy down there in Green Bay. I'm not too sure. I'm treating this like a situation I got to see with my own eyes. I mean,
Freddie, he lying to you. You love him, but he lying to you at the same time.
You got that right. Hey, you got a bad combination. He's
a bad liar.
According to Chris Collinsworth, he only tell the truth.
I just got together this chick, and hopefully, I love her too. Hopefully, she don't lie to me.
Man, it's only a first date. Easy, killer. Easy. Wait till the second date. Then we'll talk.
It's not the first one, Jay. We've been talking for a while.
Oh, my bad. First in-person date. My bad. I got you.
Oh, man.
My Chronicles, man. Hey, what you think, man?
So I got a hot take for y'all. I think Aaron Rodgers leaves, but I believe he goes away from Tom Brady to New England. I think he's played well in the cold.
What?
I think Mac Jones Bill Belichick has shown he doesn't trust him, but he can ride Aaron Rodgers for maybe 2 more years. He can afford to pay him while Mac Jones is still on that rookie deal. I think he goes to New England after this year, and that way he can meet Brady in the championship versus having to play against him because Brady will be back next year.
There's no way I see that happening. But okay, I'm gonna let you have that one, man. I need to get some of that chronic. Hey, Kenny, man.
Oh man,
hey, Kenny, what
but
think,
you know
man?
what though? I'm just real quick. That's actually not that far fetched because Belichick is he's only got a couple of years left. So if you figure Aaron Rodgers got 2 more prime seasons left in him, you bring Aaron Rodgers there, you got a chance to contend for the Super Bowl for the next 2 years. Who you don't know. Again, we talk about Mac Jones. You know, there's still some questions. He still has some questions about Mac Jones. You got a proven commodity.
But he's winning with Mac Jones. He's winning with it. Why would you go away from winning when you're winning?
When you've got a quarterback of that caliber, of that IQ, of that skill set, you could bring him in and you could put any system around him. You don't have to be limited in any way. That opens up your offense tenfold. So it's not that far fetched to me. But all that being said, I think the only way that Aaron Rodgers stays is if they win the Super Bowl. They don't. That's the only way he stays. They win the Super Bowl, then he might feel compelled to stay. Other than that, he's out of there. He's already set everything up. He's already got the contract situation to where he can be out after this year. So he doesn't have any money. They have no money. Anything holding him up. Everything is in here. He has all the leverage that he wants. He calls all the shots from this point on. So the only way he stays to me is if they win a Super Bowl. Other than that, then he's out of there.
I will say this for Ray Bond Chronicles. That was a pretty damn hot take. It was so hot, I almost burnt myself. Hey, all right, we're going to move on to Monday Night Football, man. Right now, the current score is 26-13, the Rams. I just saw them. They picked off Kyler Murray, and they took the ball down to the end zone and scored. I don't know, man. Hey, listen. Damn, I mean, hey, maybe y'all are right, man, about these Rams, man. Maybe they are coming in their own momentum. Man. Either that or I don't know. I'm discombobulated right now watching this game. I did not expect this. So, anyway, Freddie, what you got?
Man, the difference is in the quarterback position. Kyler Murray. Mm-hmm. Hey, 16 for 25, 168. No touchdowns. I was wondering why Jay Ness wasn't on the show today, by the way. Just had to throw that out there. I mean, hell, I wouldn't, I would be hiding too. It's just like, hey, kid, it's just the Phoenix Suns part 2, my bad, but let me carry on. And 2 interceptions, he's definitely not, getting the job done. I knew that Rams defense. I knew that Rams defense was going to be up for this game. I know losing Jalen Ramsey was a big blow. That's really looking bad on the Cardinals side, losing, a guy that holds down the side of the field that he's covering. You would think, hey, Kyler Murray's going to have a field day with him and D-Hop. It's going to be easy. They ready to go. But that has not been the case. D-Hop only have 2 receptions for 25 yards. That's not good. They got to be better, especially in these primetime games like this. This is a team that you can meet down the road in the playoffs. You got to be better. When you look at Matthew Stafford, 16 for 22, very efficient, 184 on TDs on yards, 3 TDs, 0 interceptions. This is much better. I've been questioning Matthew Stafford. I said, okay, you've been losing down there in Detroit. The lights are bright now. You in LA. You got the team. Can you handle your business? So far tonight, he has been handling his business. Haven't done anything too crazy. Haven't got cold or anything like that. And then you look at Odell Beckham Jr. Hey, people been calling him out. Hey, he been balling since he been in LA. 4 receptions, 64 yards, a TD. He's looking good now. Hey, Cooper Kupp. Look at Kyler Murray. This is what you use your best receiver. He have 9 receptions. Only have 56 yards, but he got a TD. You can definitely tell that Matthew's spreading the ball out because you have Jefferson with 2 receptions, 58 yards, and a TD. So they're definitely, passing. He's definitely throwing the ball all over the field, having a balanced offensive game. But hey, this is a statement game tonight. And like I said, this is without your tight end. in without Ramsey with Big Donald down there. Hey, they got it. Hey, this is a bad look for the Cardinals so far.
All right, off to Phil Trost we go.
Hey, like I said earlier, man, it's QB match made in heaven. Just like Mac Jones and the Patriots, Matt Stafford found the perfect offense, right? It was what's the coach name? McVay found the perfect dynamic quarterback to run his offense. When you had what's his name? What's the QB for Detroit now?
Goff.
When you had Goff, right? All he had to do was hand the ball off to Todd Gurley, let the defense hold strong. But once Todd Gurley got injured, Jared Goff couldn't run that offense anymore. Now you got Matt Stafford, who all he needed was a good defense. All he needed was some dynamic playmakers like Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. And now it's just make the Super Bowl.
Good point. Coach Dante?
First of all, I want to give a shout out to the Houston Rockets who came back and won from 21 points down against the Atlanta Hawks.
Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest.
Give a shout out to the Houston fucking Rockets for
right.
coming back from a 21-point deficit and beating Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. But other than that,
real quick, Coach Dante, I don't want to move on too fast from that because that's a pretty big ass statement you just said. Freddie, I want you to hear this. I want you to hear it really fucking good. When you beat Orlando Magic, nobody gives a damn. When you're
talking about
and you don't have your number one prospect in Jalen Green, and you still whoop that ass, that's when you get fucking excited. That's when you get excited. Not when you beat the Orlando freaking Magic. Okay, I regress now.
We're talking.
All right, so let me get right into it. I love the Matt Stafford. The biggest target he had in Detroit was Megatron, but still, look what happened. Look what his stats without Megatron. He still was able to make receivers better. He still was able to make comeback winning drives. He still was the same quarterback. 5,000 yard season. He had two 5,000 yard seasons and back in several 4,000 yard seasons. So that shows he can get you involved with the right coaching staff, with the right receivers. And Odell Beckham, like Freddie said, they've been calling him out lately. He seems happy. So it seems like Baker Mayfield wasn't able to get this guy football. Now he spread it around with Matthew Stafford, someone who can get him the football. Van Jefferson is a good receiver. Cooper Kupp is the best receiver on that team as a slot. He's the best receiver on that team as a slot, playing like a number one. They even managed to run the football well, 13 carries, 62 yards for Sony Michel. So if he stays healthy, he can be a pretty dynamic back, catch passes out of the backfield. And the turnover by the end zone, Aaron Donald is wreaking havoc on the defensive side of the ball, getting his hands up in the air, batting the passes down. He calls that first interception down by the red zone, which is the Rams were able to go down the field, take advantage of. And if this defense can get to Kyler Murray or anybody, I believe this defense can be straight. But I think this Rams offense starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. And Odell Beckham looks happy, man. Odell Beckham looks happy right now.
Yeah, he does. All right, Ray, what you got, brother?
I mean, there's a reason I haven't really had the Cardinals in my top fives these last couple of weeks. Is I wasn't convinced, I wasn't sold. I see this happening when you bring in a big number two, and it seems like DeAndre Hopkins, he's something. The rapport and chemistry's been off. He's been out. They need to get that going. Kyler Murray is inconsistent. He makes a lot of bad decisions, and he's small of frame and small of stature. I've yet to see him really win a big game in college or in the pros. So I'm not really convinced. I think Matthew Stafford is showing what he can be tonight, and I would like to see more consistency out of that. But I think that's coming because Sonny Michel is able to run the ball. When you're able to run the ball, you can run that play action, that bootleg, and hit that bomb to Jefferson, and he didn't drop it. I've said before, I think they got to work on getting Odell ingratiated into the offense. And if they can bring him back and Robert Woods get healthy next year, I think they'll be right back at it. But no, overall, I'm impressed with the Rams tonight on both sides of the ball. That defense had been inconsistent, and it seems like tonight they're finally beginning to put it all together. So I definitely think they're a team to be reckoned with, and I imagine they're going to keep this momentum going and finish this game out with a W.
Now, let's keep it in perspective. This is about midway through the third quarter. It's 27-13. Arizona is moving the ball past the 40, going almost, they're in scoring, in the other side of the 40. So let's keep it in perspective, man. The Cardinals ain't out. Right now, Kyler Murray is running for about 15, 20 yards. Well, he's at the 30. He's at the 20. So, hey, Don't count this team out just yet. This game is just still a lot of football left to play. Mr. Kenny, what you think?
Yeah, there is, but I think to a point that Phil made earlier, this game here will pretty much speak to it. Is that Kingsbury this is pretty much the second big game that they've had this season. Last time it was against Green Bay, they came up short. If they come up short again here against Los Angeles, then these questions are going to continue they haven't been answered. To Arizona's credit, they were winning games, while they were holding it down while Kyler Murray and D Hop was out, and they were winning games. That's why I was giving them credit. But in order for you to maintain that status, you have to, now that everybody's back, there's no excuses now. You got everybody's back, they're back playing. You got to get it done. Same way, I was talking about the issues that the Cowboys are having. You got to, if you're being inconsistent, then that's something that you got to fix if you want to be a great team. So I think the inconsistencies now is going to be something that's going to be a question that they have to answer for the rest of the season. And if they can't find a way to come back and pull this game out, then those questions are going to be, be being asked even the more, whether Cliff Kingsbury is the coach to be able to lead them to the promised land.
All right. Hey, we're going to wrap the last topic up for the NFL, then we'll move on to NBA. The last topic being, are the Cowboys back? Are the Cowboys back? Hey, listen, I don't know if we're all the way back yet to where we started out at the beginning of the season, but our defense, now that we got Gregory back, now that we got Lawrence back, when we combine it with Michael Parsons and Trayvon Diggs, hey, we're not looking bad on the defense side of the ball. I mean, I think we're definitely rounding into form, and I do think the defense is going to continue to round into form as they, get back into it. Now, the offense, as we all know, yes, Dak had his issues, but they still won the game. At the end of the day, it's a W is a W. I don't care who it is, and I do think that the offense will get better as we go along. I'm not going to put them in my top 5 yet, but I do think that they are riding a good momentum train, and hopefully we'll continue to ride that train. Freddie, what you got, brother?
Listen here, man. Listen here. My dude Phil with the change of scenery. I like that. But listen, the Cowboys came into Washington yesterday. Shout out to Jerry Jones, because only he would send out the benches down there to Washington. Or the Cowboys benches. Only him. That's only a Jerry Jones move, by the way. But listen.
They didn't want him to be cold, Freddie. We like our butts warm.
That's what makes us America's team. We do things that, other teams just can't do.
Right. Lose.
Like win the Super Bowl?
No. We won a lot of Super Bowls, as a matter of fact. Don't get that twisted. I'm gonna go like Freddie. Let me do like Freddie.
You're not talking about
Super Bowl rings, right? We got 5 Super Bowl rings, right? Let me tell you about the glory days of Jimmy Johnson. I can go like a Freddie and rest of my past morals, but come on.
Hey, we understand you going off of your glory days and all that. Is because you know what? The last time your glory days,
just answer the question, man. Are the
your
Cowboys
beard
back
had a
or not?
curl
Just
to it.
answer the question.
Understand it, but listen,
Orlando Magic. Damn, something out here got me twisted. Go ahead.
Listen here. Wait, what's the topic? You got me all discombobulated.
Oh, the Cowboys back. Get to it, man. We don't want to
go ahead to Washington 24-0 in the first half. What did you do the second half? You did absolutely nothing.
What they always do.
What they always do.
We won, Phil. We won.
Yeah, but only.
Look at the column. It says 9-4 right now. 9-4. We won.
And you Cowboy fans up here happy. Oh, we look good yesterday. We beat Heineken. We beat the Washington football team. Really?
Listen, I don't care if it's a YMCA. A damn W is a W.
Like I said,
it's got more than you got.
But you
it's not a team that he likes, then it matters who they played against. But if it's Aaron Rodgers, it don't matter. Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is how ineffective y'all was in the second half. That's what I'm talking about. Now let's bring up some numbers, because I'm very, very interested in yesterday quarterback's numbers. We're gonna talk about this.
If you ain't got the numbers already up, I'm going to Philip Frost. You better hurry up.
We're going to talk about Dak Prescott and Taylor Heineke. Which one you want first? I'm gonna give you Dak Prescott, since most of you guys say he is the better quarterback in that division.
He is the better quarterback.
Dak Prescott.
It's just
I'm
very
already
simple.
mad at
No. Before you go that route, if you go that, look at total yards. Give me the whole year scope, not just one game. Give me the whole year scope.
I'm giving you what they did head to head yesterday.
Okay.
Dak Prescott completed 56% of his passes, below average, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, QBR rating of 58.8. But that's, this is a quarterback who has
Just
high
for correction,
expectations.
Dak had 2 touchdowns. He threw 1 to Washington.
Okay, there you go. Hey, great correction, my brother. And let's go about, when Dak Prescott have high expectations because he do have a Michael Gallup out there. He do have an Amari Cooper. He do have a CeeDee Lamb. He do have an Ezekiel. He do have that offensive line. He do have that defense. He do have the billion-dollar owner Jerry Jones. He have all that. And you talk about a Taylor Heineke who does not have that much expectation, who had 122 yards. What is expected out of Taylor Heineke? I had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So, they're both really about even just about. You ask me, hey, Dak Prescott not really that dude. And we keep seeing week after week after week after week, he lets you down. He do not look like that MVP quarterback.
All right, Philip Tross, give me some of your bullshit.
Look, man, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. In order to be back, you have had to have been there to start with, bro.
Oh, God. He's done quite well. Come on, you act like he ain't done nothing, man. Come on now.
What have the Cowboys won this past decade, man? What have y'all won?
Oh, shit. Now we're going decade. I don't know. When the hell's the last time New Orleans won a team? When did y'all win? It wasn't a decade, was it?
2009.
Was it like 2002 or was it 09?
2009.
That's 12 years ago. What you talking about?
Yeah, I was saying, what the hell are we talking about? I think you were like 4 when the New Orleans won the last one.
Yeah, but we're still perennial 10-win teams, though. The Cowboys, they make you think they're good the first few weeks of the season, then they tailor off towards the end like they always do. So, my expectations will never get too high. I expected more out of Ezekiel Elliott this year. His offseason hype videos look real good on Bleacher Report, but he's running like he has ankle weights tied to his legs, and he's injured.
I'll give you that one. All right, Coach Dante, what you got, man?
I'm not gonna say all the Cowboys are back because I don't know that. I don't know they're back. They got all potential to be a very good football team. Sometimes you just don't know what Cowboys team you're gonna get from week to week. Dak Prescott has been inconsistent. He hasn't been the best.
I'll give that one. Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott, a couple of years ago when he was fumbling the football, I believe he going through some problems, especially he was out of shape. And he still doesn't look good. He's looked like a between the tackle runner. Tony Pollard is a better back than Ezekiel Elliott for this offensive scheme than Ezekiel Elliott right now. He's more explosive, catch out the backfield. He's very versatile, and his defense is starting to step up. Michael Parsons, this guy's an alpha male. This guy's a dog. And I love defensive players. I love giving defensive players a lot of credit, man. You can put this guy at any linebacker position, all around the defensive line. This guy can wreak havoc. He's that skilled. Diggs is having a good year, but I'm not too sold on him in pass coverage. Yes, he catches a lot of interceptions, but it's some reason why teams not scared to throw his way because I'll say he's inconsistent in coverage a little bit. So I give him the 8 interceptions, but I still don't know about his pass. Yeah,
he has 9, I believe.
Yeah, he has 9. Okay, he has 9, but teams are still not scared.
Don't shortchange me, Dante.
Teams are still not scared to throw his way. They're still challenging him, and sometimes he just get beat week to week all the time, just like he got beat this week again. But I don't know if this team coming back. It just depends on what Dallas team you get week to week, and just depends on what Dallas team you get next week against the New York Giants, which is I expect them to beat the New York Giants because the New York Giants is just a mess.
All right, what you got, Mr. Ray?
You watch how you carry my team, Coach Dante.
I got to be honest. My team is a mess too, so I got to be honest too.
Well, next time you don't say mess. You say something a little bit lighter than that.
Nah, we both a mess. We both a damn mess.
What you got, Ray? What you got on this Dallas issue?
I I don't know. I think the question was phrased to begin this topic as a joke, but I think the reality is back to what? I think coming into this year, everybody expected them to win the division. I think they're the most talented team in the NFL. So if we're saying back to winning the division, yes. Do I think, based on what I've seen, that they can beat any of the top 5 that we named or anybody in the NFC they might play in the first round? I don't. I think a first round home playoff game will end up in disappointment because Dak Prescott, I guess to Kenny's point, since that calf hasn't really looked good. He looked great against Atlanta, but I would look good against Atlanta, and I don't know how to throw the ball.
Atlanta forgot they had a football game.
Yeah. So I think we've seen more bad Dak than anything, and that's really disappointing. I really liked him coming out of Mississippi State. I wanted him to get his money. He got his money, but that pick 6 he threw was awful. The first interception he threw was awful. He hit jamming right in the chest, and he dropped it. Like, I just don't know what reads he's saying. I'm not sure what he's doing. So I just think I take that back. I have an idea, and we talked about Odell in this game and what Matt Stafford went through when he first got there. We saw what happened with Baker Mayfield when Odell came in. I think he's starting to get CD happy. I think he's really starting to force the ball to CD. He's looking at CD. He's predetermining that he wants to throw the ball to CD. And on some of these cases, he's just not open. There's way too much talent with Gallup, with Schultz, with Cooper.
You've got plenty of options.
It's a ton of options. So I just don't know if he's – I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but he hasn't played up to what I think even he's capable of, and he needs to get to it because Micah Parsons is the only reason you guys are in first place in that division. And thank God y'all got him and people drafted the corners ahead of him because y'all would be in serious trouble if y'all didn't have that young man who I said and still believe is the defensive player of the year and defensive rookie of the year. But back to what I don't think they're back to anything other than what we expected, which was them to win the division and go out in the first round.
I absolutely think that Michael Parsons is making the case for defensive player of the year. He's vastly approaching 13 sacks, and I think he's definitely getting there. All right, Kenny, what you got, man?
Well, I just think, I find it interesting that Phil and Freddie and Ray, got these questions about us being back, but just leave out the fact that we beat all of their teams, but they just conveniently leave that out of their conversation.
You beat bad teams, and you beat a team that have no players.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
You don't have a quarterback.
That's fine. Yeah. Excuses are like, excuses are like, but we all have them and they all stink.
If you go against the Rams,
that's neither here. That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. But no, seriously, I said it. I already said my piece about this. Basically, the next step for the Cowboys is Dak Prescott getting into his rhythm because early in the season he was putting up big time numbers. There was no question about whether or not he was. Was an elite quarterback. And since he's come back from that injury, he's been inconsistent. I think it's a few things. One, there's so many weapons that sometimes he tries to force those that are not there and just doesn't use his legs. There's sometimes where I think his pocket presence sometimes is getting the best of him. There's opportunities that he has to run to extend drives, and he's so busy trying to make a throw that he's missing running lanes. So I think that's part of it. And I think it's also an embarrassment of riches that there's so many guys that he's trying to keep happy that he's just not throwing to the open man. What makes Tom Brady great is that he doesn't care who it is that's open. If they're open, they're getting the ball. So I think that's the mentality that Dak has to get to where he just has to, trust his reads and throw the ball to the guy that's going to that's open for that particular play. And in terms of Zeke Elliott, he was putting up big numbers before he banged up his knee. So I think that's more of a product of him being a little banged up. And I think that Tony Pollard, while he has more of a home run in him, I think he doesn't run between the tackles. So I think they're the perfect complement to each other, where you got the outside guy and the inside guy. Both of them can catch the ball out of the backfield. So I think they just complement each other perfectly. It's kind of that, that salt and pepper, or that fire and ice, or that thunder and lightning, whatever that combo they had for the sorry Giants when they were actually good so many years ago. But I digress. But anyway, so the bottom line is there's another level that this team could get to. And if that can be consistent the way this defense is playing, the way that defensive line is getting after the quarterback, that five-headed monster. Now that you got Gregory back, you got the Marcus Lawrence back, you got Michael Parsons back, you got Gallimore making plays. Like everybody with that D line, you don't have to have the greatest secondary, because we all know Anthony Brown is the weak link when it comes to our secondary. But because you don't have, even if you don't have time to throw, it's hard to complete passes. So I think the key to the season is Dak Prescott's consistency. And once he gets his rhythm back and gets his consistency back, the sky's the limit.
All right. Hey, we're going to do a little quick speed round, short takes. We're going to move into the NBA side of life. We're going to start with some hot takes. My hot take is, based on what the Rockets have done to the Atlanta Hawks, based on what the Hawks have done to the Chicago Bulls, who's the next quote-unquote big team is it for us to take down? Maybe we should play spoiler alert to the barely above, 2 games above 500 L.A. Lakers. Yeah, Freddie, I'm calling you out. Freddie. I'm calling you out. The gaunt's been thrown. We're going to dethrone your asses. Go ahead, Freddie. I'm going to throw the floor to you now. Hot take.
Wait. If his hot takes pertains to the Lakers, mute his mic, please and thank you.
No, it is about the Lakers. It is about the Lakers.
Every show, your hot take is about the Lakers.
My last show was not about the Lakers. So
you was talking about the Lakers.
I'm not talking about the Lakers.
Hey, it's good, Freddie. I'm a Laker fan. I love it.
Listen,
this guy makes hot takes about the Lakers every week.
Listen.
Hey, let's keep it short, Freddie. I don't need no long diatribe.
I'll get my hot take in.
Hey, short takes. Let's go.
If LeBron James did not miss the games that he did, he would be the MVP, and it would not be close. Look at these last 6 games, what this man has been doing. He's been averaging 30 points a game, just straight balling.
Hey, man, listen, the name of this show is called Real Talk, not Delusional Talk.
Hey,
not Delusional Talk, it's Real Talk.
Little BS rant? No. So listen.
Who did they play?
Who
were they
don't
playing?
matter who they played.
Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't, Ray. Of course it don't matter.
He been shooting the 3-ball good.
This guy
been dunking on people, blocking shots, looking like prime Bron. And I'm like, like he's the only player on the team that looks deep, that looks good this year. That's straight balling. You better be glad he got hurt.
We're gonna move on now to Phil Trump.
Thank you.
Hey, wait, we're moving on now. I said hot takes, not hot diatribes. Phil Trump, let's go, baby.
Look, I'm a Lakers fan, so it hurts me to say this, and I got inspired to say this from inside the NBA on TNT. But Anthony Davis, he is not a true number 1. That's my hot take.
Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. Coach Dante, give us some spicy caliente hot takes.
Okay. I got two of them, so I'm gonna throw 2 of them in here. I'm gonna throw for the Rockets. Steven Silas is officially the man for the Rockets job. I'm gonna throw that in now. At first, I don't know.
Kudos to
but
him.
Yeah, I wasn't sort of.
I gotta give credit. I gotta give credit to Steven Silas, how his rotations has been. Josh Christopher is a dog. He guards you up 50 feet. Jayshawn Tate is a beast. Shane Goon, a 18-year-old rookie out there, is some of those veterans in the NBA. Great feel, 19-year-old, not afraid in the moment. He's the best playmaker on our damn team right now.
That's what I'm saying.
For the Rockets, he's the best playmaker on the team right now. So kudos to Coach Steven Silas. He's the man for the Rockets job, and I can live with you if you're out there fighting hard and you're playing hard, and a team is better than you while you're playing hard. Milwaukee, all of those guys, Memphis, the last 2 games we did lost, they're just better teams. And the Rockets and the Lakers, they fought all 3 of those teams hard. They're just better teams than we are right now. But we got a bright young future, and we got 2 starters out. We got 2 young starters out. Our future backcourt is out. And another hot take is Doc Rivers is an overrated head coach in the NBA. He is overrated. He doesn't know how to make adjustments in the playoffs. Orlando, when he was with Orlando, he lost a 3-1 lead to the Detroit Pistons. He also lost I know the series was 2-2 against OKC. Chris Paul turned the ball over. He has a moment of turning the ball over, but you should not have lost that series. You lost a series to the Rockets, to me and Jay Lovett Rockets, where you choked in that game 6, when you just gave away game 5, and you choked in the game 6, and then you choked in game 7. Then you lost to the Hawks when you was up by 20 in 2 of those games in the series. Doc Rivers is an overrated head coach. And the championship you did win, you didn't get credit for it. The players gave Tibbs credit for that championship. So he's an overrated head coach. That's both of my hot takes.
And I like it. Saucy. It's very saucy. Okay, Ray, what you got, Bubba?
I got 2, but they're going to be quick. First, Boston will blow it up. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will not be playing together next year. And my second take is Zion Williamson will not play another game for the New Orleans Pelicans.
The second one you probably could have waited because that's our second topic, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, Ray. Very saucy, very saucy. Okay, Kenny, what you got, man?
Well, I'll piggyback so we can lead into the next topic and make it quick. Zion is trying to eat his way out of New Orleans.
There's a lot to eat down there, right there, Big Phil. You know about that New Orleans food.
On purpose, Kenny?
Hey, let's just go ahead and segue. Let's segue into Zion. What should the Pelicans do with them? Hey, listen, I don't know, man. Either you hide the food or you put them on a really good workout program or you put them on a diet. I think you fine them. I think it's time to start levying fines. Look, if you're not an NBA playing shape and you're not willing to go on a diet and you're throwing on weight, it's time to start paying the piper. Start hitting the man the pocketbook, and then he won't have money to go get food. That's just my point. Freddie, what are we going to do with Zion?
Man, that's the New Orleans Pelicans deserve blame for him, and he deserved blame as well. First, I'm going to go with him. Zion, you a grown-ass man. You're a professional athlete. You shouldn't have to nobody come tell you, hey, you overweight. I understand you want to get out and all that, but there's other ways, man. You've been going through too many injuries already in your young career. Don't try to hurt yourself even more. Don't do that to yourself. And to the Pelicans, have you guys not seen him? Have you guys not seen? Say, hey, man, you need to go to a little diet. I understand you hurt, but hey, we need to adjust your diet a little bit. Hey, we need you to do this. But it all started when they traded Lonzo. And who did they get? They got nothing but a bag of chips. This franchise has proven, even when they had Anthony Davis, they are not capable of putting people around them to win basketball games. Zion seen Anthony Davis down there in New Orleans struggling. Being basically by himself except for that 1 year when Boogie Rondo was there, when Boogie got hurt. Zion, I'm not going to waste my career down here. I'm not going to let you guys take me away from the game of winning basketball games. So to me, hey, it's probably be best to get rid of him while you can. Get most of it, get much back from him where you can build around. Hell, we don't even know who's the face of this franchise because right now it looks like Brandon Ingram. It don't even look like Zion. Even when Zion was playing,
it's supposed to be
it
Zion.
Like it was Brandon Ingram to go from there.
Right. All right, Big Phil, what you got, man?
I agree with what Freddie said. It's a combination of both. I mean, David Griffin was supposed to be the savior, right? But he made some questionable decisions. Getting rid of Lonzo was the biggest one. They made some horrible draft picks, and then, like he said, with Zion, man, personal accountability, bro. You're a millionaire, and a lot of these guys, the way the NBA works and the way recruiting and stuff works, like these guys have been training for the NBA their entire lives. Like, so he knows what a training regimen is, man. I can't feel sorry for the guy. You know what I'm saying? You can pay millions of dollars, hire somebody, bro. Talk to your OGs, your vets on the team, man.
Yeah, somebody definitely needs to get in his ear and start giving him the real deal. Hey, what do you got, Coach Dante?
Well, first of all, I'm a big players accountable guy, and he doesn't have the damn right to come out and say, "Hey, I want out or force a trade," because he only had put up a couple of good seasons for New Orleans, and then he done nothing but get hurt. Anthony Davis has played his dues in New York, so he has have the damn right to come out and say, "I want out," or try to force his way out. But he doesn't want to be there. I believe it's a combination of the organization and him, basically, because he doesn't want to be there. His family already came out and said, hey, maybe he could be listening to his family. They want him in New York. Maybe is that the case? But that doesn't give him no reason to go out and not keep himself in shape, not work out. If you're not going to be around a team, at least work out. Not eat up a damn storm. So again, I'm a big player. I love holding players accountable, and it's some of that is on the organization as well because you have not drafted well. Brandon Ingram is your one alpha male that I like. He's a stud in this league, but everybody else is just inconsistent type players. I thought you hit on Kel Lewis. I like the Kel Lewis as a player at Alabama, but other than that, they have not drafted well. And Zion Williamson got to hold himself accountable, man. You got to get yourself in shape, even though if you're not around a team or if you want to go somewhere else, you got to get yourself back in shape, man. And you got to be ready. You got to be ready for whatever goes down, regardless if you're not up out of there, regardless if the organization do trade you to another team. You got to be ready. You got to be prepared. You got to work out. You got to work out. Half of that is on Zion.
Yeah, and two things real quick. Number one is if Michael Jordan was there or Kobe Bean Bryant, some like type of player like that was on your team, don't you think they'd be all up in him? That just like because they were. I don't think either one of those two type of guys would just sit there and watch a teammate just go that far downhill. It's crazy. And also number two, he was found sleeping in team meetings. That just tells you right there that he don't want to be a part of the damn program when you go into work and
follow. Real quick. A lot of this stuff could be the team trying to sabotage his trade value because he does want to leave New Orleans. So a lot of this could be propaganda and lies. So we got to look at both sides of the coin too.
Oh, that's true. All right, Mr. Ray, what's your opinion?
No, I was going to specifically to Phil. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like you wouldn't want to sabotage your
value. Cut off your nose to spite your face.
Right, like that. I don't think that's the case. I think they're upset that that's leaking. We see what happened with Philly when stuff started leaking there, and they couldn't get rid of Ben Simmons because they weren't going to get fair value back for him. If I'm New Orleans, I'd get rid of him. The problem is you can't trade him because he's never healthy. So I think the right thing to do, hopefully, is they could get his diet together. I think the part that is missing a little bit is he's had a bunch of lower leg injuries. So when you got a bunch of leg injuries or lower body injuries, it's hard to work out to stay in shape. So that's where nutrition and dieting comes in. And I think that's the part that's missing. For what it's worth, I give LeBron all the credit in the world for the money he spends on his body. There's no way that they can't have a better food regimen for him while he's trying to recover from a lot of these injuries. Same thing James Harden said. He was still getting in shape this year. Luka's up in different weight and stuff like that. So players have gained weight because of injuries and things like that. But this is
let me tell you something, though. You know what, though, Ray? Here's the deal. And Phil will back me up on this. He knows this all too good and well. And let me tell you about one thing I learned about the Army is they have what they call profile PT. That means when you get a lower leg injury, you work your upper body. And if you have an upper body injury, you work your lower body. You always have the opportunity to work off calories. There's always ways to work off calories and combine that with your diet. He has the ability to still do workouts and eat right and lose and keep the weight off. He just doesn't do any of it. Period.
Hold on, Jay. But if he's working upper body, muscles weighs more than fat. Yeah. So if he's bulking up and getting thick, then
you need cardio.
It's
hard to do cardio.
Hey, watch this. Hey, one thing I know about working out is whether I'm doing push-ups or whether I'm doing any kind of training, anything you do to your body, you're burning. When your body's burning calories, it don't say, okay, let me take the calories off the leg. Let me take the calories off the arm. No, it don't work like that.
Hey,
as long as you're burning calories, and you're keeping the weight off.
In response to Ray, you got to think about this too, Ray. So this is Zion's third season. He's the number one overall draft pick. He's bringing money to that city. He's bringing money to that organization. They probably don't. Who's to say they want to get rid of Zion, right? So if they want to keep him, to keep that cash cow in the city, it will behoove them to lower his market value outside of New Orleans to make other teams want to be afraid to sign him because of his injury history.
Teams is not going for that. Like they know, they know what the money is since he was in high school. Zion Williamson has been a cash cow since YouTube in high school. I think it makes a lot of sense, to be perfectly honest, to send him to New York and get somebody like Julius Randle back. Back to Brandon Ingram. You got to make the money match. But New York has plummeted this year. So I think they're pretty much out of the race. So that hype they had, that's dead. I think you get him where he wants to go. That's fine. Do right by the young man, but get him off your book. So you're going to end up with another Anthony Davis situation where you got a bunch of people that you bring in that may not want to be there, and you don't get as much value for him as you could have gotten because you waited too long. I still think he has value because he can sell tickets. And I think you need a team like a New York or a huge market that can bring him in, that can sell tickets, until he gets healthy and he'll be more motivated. But I get rid of him. And I maximize his value because my goal is to win.
No, I get you. Kenny, do we hit you on what your opinion was?
Oh no. I was just going to say that that to minimize his trade value, that's going to hurt you in the long run because you only have a few years left on his rookie deal. So you're gonna have to make a decision one way or the other. If he decides, if he goes to free agency and you're lowering his trade value, then he could walk out the door and you don't get nothing. So, and it gets to the point where you get to a trade deadline and it's his walk year and you've diminished his trade value, then you're getting 50 cents on the dollar. So you're going to hurt yourself in the long run. So I don't know if that's the best strategy for them, if that's what they're trying to do. I think that what they have, I think it's just got to be a meeting of the minds where between the front office and between Zion, they got to figure out a game plan, whether it's hiring a nutritionist, personal trainer that's with them 24/7, babysitter, whatever the case may be. Like, this is your asset. This is your greatest asset. You got to put him in the best position to be successful and get him back on the court because he's got to show that he can stay healthy and still be that explosive person on the court. I think, weight is going to be an issue for the dude because, he's big bone. He just got that frame and he's young. So he's still growing into his body. So I think some of that weight may not necessarily be bad. It's just a matter of him getting, trying to find the right body fat ratio and, things that's way above my pay grade in terms of nutrition and body mass and all that other stuff. But, they just got to get a game plan to get him in the position to be the most healthy possible. And I think he needs to talk to a guy like a Charles Barkley because early in Charles Barkley's career, he struggled with his weight. And, he said he got with Moses Malone, and Moses Malone was the one that got in his ear and got on him. Was like, yo, bro, you got to get in shape. You're too fat. You got to lose some weight. So he's got to, to Phil's point, you got to get a veteran in there that has the cachet. I think that's the biggest problem is that they don't have a veteran in there with the cachet that could get Zion like, yo, bro, you got to get it together. You know what I'm saying? You messing up your bag. And until they get that type of person in there, I think that if they don't have a meeting of the minds, it's just going to be continue back and forth, and it's just going to end up bad all the way around.
And I'm changing my hot take. Zion Williamson is the next Jamarcus Russell, and I think I've also mentioned that as well. I'm just going, but he's next Jamarcus Russell. Look, let me tell you something. What if he just has a mentality of like, you know what, I'm just going to keep eating. I don't give a damn.
I don't think he's that.
How do you know? He's falling asleep already in practice.
Yeah, I don't know if he's that. I think
he's falling asleep in the meetings. He don't have a give a damn attitude.
Oh, I didn't. That's the first I'm hearing of that. So I don't know.
No, he's falling asleep in the meeting. He's out there drooling and eating. I think he had a hot dog or something sticking out of his mouth while he was drooling at the team meeting. I don't know, man. It's crazy. But either way, hey, I guess we'll have to wait and see what actually becomes of the former face of the New Orleans Pelicans, Zion Williamson. And we'll just go ahead and move on. And I dropped up my topics.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me just make this one quick point, though. With Zion and Sucks put up his contract, they would have to be him and Brandon Ingram for that Knicks deal. I'm a Knicks fan, so I know Julius Randle's got like 20-something million.
Yeah.
So
that's what the money would have to match. I know.
Yeah, they would have to throw Brandon Ingram in that deal. There'd probably be some other moving pieces to go along with it too. So
Utah Jazz,
maybe Kevin Knox and some other guys. But
is Kevin Knox even playing right now?
That's what I'm saying. There had to be some money, some money situation moved around. You get a piece I don't want, you get a piece that you don't want, something like that to kind of make the deal work. But the Timberwolves and the Hornets, to me, that's the most fascinating one to me. You put him, Miles Bridges, and Melo Ball together. That could be a serious combination. And he's from that area too. He's a South Carolina kid. He'd be close to home. Like, that could be a serious situation. So to me, that's the most intriguing one in terms of a trade destination.
All right, let's talk about this Utah Jazz team. Are they a sleeper team in the West? I don't think so personally. Freddie, what do you think? Is Utah Jazz a sleeper team?
Man, they're going to be a real good team in the regular season. Like we've seen the last couple of years, they're capable of winning, big games, a lot of games in the season. But it comes to the playoffs, who's going to be willing to help Donovan Mitchell? Who's going to be that guy that can step up? Will Rudy Gobert, will he get exposed like he did in the playoffs last year. There's a lot of question marks about this team, and the score of the Cardinals and the Rams game is 30-20. By the way, so I mean, I'm not going to put too much hype on this team. You know, at this point, this team can't be really judged on the playoffs because we know that they are capable of winning 50, 55 games in the season. We've seen that. It's time to see you advance in the playoffs, and that's when we can judge this team more accordingly to who they are.
All right, Phil Tross, man. What do you think, man?
I don't think so, man. I mean, this has been the same team for the past several years, minus a point guard swap, minus a role player swap. But to me, Donovan Mitchell, he's too inefficient of a star player to carry the franchise. He'll go 35 points on like almost 30 shots, And to me, I think that that blocks to me is an overrated stat. I think it's not indicative of great defense. Rudy Gobert gets a lot of blocks, but he's not always guarding the best player on the opposing team. So he might stand in the post all game, but he's not guarding the Ben Simmons or the Joel Embiid every single time or the star wing player. You know what I mean? So they're a good regular season team, but they haven't figured it out yet come postseason.
All right, Coach Dante, Jazz sleeper team or no?
Hell no. They can't get past the second round of the playoffs. And you know that, Jay, because we knocked them out 2 times in the second round and the first round of the playoffs. This is Rudy Gobert's trouble. When you put a lineup out there that a spread lineup, Rudy Gobert is limited. Now, Rudy Gobert is the type of player that's impactful when you have someone in the paint like a Dwight Howard or DeAndre Jordan. That's when his defensive sets start coming in there. That's where he starts being able to be called one of the best rim protectors in the game. Now, when you have somebody like an Anthony Davis that can sit out there and shoot the ball, that's very skillful, that can also get out there and make life a hell because he can shoot as well, that's when you're going to see Rudy Gobert's trouble on the defensive side of the ball. That way it gets to the point where you can't play him. Now you will have to play matchup basketball, and that's when Anthony Davis start picking apart those mismatches. That's where Rudy Gobert is vulnerable at. And when you get in the playoffs, you're going to start seeing that, and Quinn Snyder is not going to make an adjustment. Oh, matter of fact, you ain't going to be able to adjust to that because, hey, that's just what Utah is. Their best chance was when Kawhi Leonard was hurt. That was their best chance. When Kawhi Leonard was hurt and they had the Clippers, when they had the Clippers, that was their best chance right there. Terrence Mann exploded on them from 39 points in Game 7. So, hell no, they can't even get past the second round. I don't care how great Donovan Mitchell is. He cannot carry this team on his back. And they're just they're going to get a first seed. They're going to get a second seed, but it would not be good enough to advance them no further than the second round. And Rudy Gobert, like I said, he loves to sit in the paint. That's his specialty because, like I said, when you got guys like DeAndre Jordan, Clint Capella, them sitting inside the paint, they're pick and roll type players. That's his defense can start being strong. Now you put a spread offense out there, someone that can shoot the ball, basketball against a team like the Lakers, that's going to be able to hurt them right there because Anthony Davis, he's just not an inside player, he's an outside player as well. So that's what's going to hurt him as well. And Phoenix is going to hurt him a lot. When you take JaVale McGee out the game and you put Jay Crowder, at least you go small, that's what's going to hurt him. So hell no, they're not a contending team. They're just a playoff team and out.
All right, Mr. Ray, what we got, brother?
I would say it to be continued. I think as presently constructed, I don't see them as a fit for a lot of the reasons Coach said. I just don't think they match up well with some of the more elite teams when they go small and play someone like a Giannis-sized player at center. I think Gobert is relegated, and he doesn't have enough offensive skill that you can throw him the ball and he can punish smaller defenders in the post. If he was able to develop a better offensive game, a more consistent offensive game, like maybe DeAndre Ayton, I think then they would definitely he'd be a much bigger asset. But as it presently stands, I don't see that. I think the other thing that's a little unfair to them in the playoffs is Mike Conley has rarely been there and been healthy. I think when he's there and he's healthy, they are a much different team when Donovan Mitchell doesn't have to initiate the offense and he can play off the ball more. So I definitely think that can be something, but not similar to Chris Paul. He's just been hurt a lot in the playoffs. But I think they are a solid team. I would really look for them to make a move at the deadline and go get another scorer because I do think Donovan Mitchell can be inefficient and they need a scorer. if they could get someone like Jaylen Brown or another wing player that can score and create
That's
their own
it.
shot,
Jaylen Brown's it.
I think
That'd be
that
great.
will make them over the top because they play great defense, but they need another scorer. One, in the event that Conley goes down, and two, just in the event that Donovan Mitchell's having an off night. So I think that if they go make a move at the deadline, I think that will go a long way to get them if they get a wing scorer.
All right, Mr. Kenny, wrap this bad boy up for us.
Yes, sir. I'll be quick. I think the reason why the Jazz are not considered to be a contender is because as you go later on into those second rounds, those semifinals and conference finals, it comes to who can make a play, who can take advantage of a mismatch. And right now, the only guy that they have that can really take advantage consistently of a mismatch is Donovan Mitchell. And to Ray's point, sometimes he struggles with his efficiency. Sometimes it could be a little streaky with his jump shot. So I think that's the problem. You got solid guys. You got Bogdanovich. You got Clarkson. They're solid guys. Ingles, solid guys. But Conley, another solid guy, but not a game changer. And I think that Ray made a great point about them. If they could get a second wheel, or if they can get a second fiddle, somebody that you can, put in an isolation situation and late in the shot clock, and they can make a play and make a play for themselves and make a play for their teammates. That's the piece to getting them to the next level, because Gobert is not that guy. Coach already covered it. You can't throw it downtown in the post. To Ray's point, he's not a guy that can, which is sad that in all these years in the league, he never developed a jump hook where you could just throw it to him in the post and he could just turn over either shoulder and shoot a jump hook. Like, you're 7 feet tall. A jump hook is to me, is the easiest shot to teach big. So that's one thing I never understood, why he never developed that. All these Billy is a dunk guy. He's on the dunk line and he catches lobs. So they just struggle when the game slows down. That's the bottom line, is when the game slows down, they don't have that guy, that game changer, that unless Donovan Mitchell goes for 40, he's the only guy that's the game changer for them. They just don't have that second guy, and that's what they're missing.
And just real quick, a cheaper option, if Jaylen Brown costs too much, and I would like to see him go get somebody like Karis LeVert out of Indiana, I think he would fit real well too. Plus, he would give him.
I agree with the Karis LeVert. Absolutely.
I wouldn't be mad if you swap Brogdon for Conley, to be honest with you.
All right, we want to shift gears here now. Now we're going to talk about one of Freddie's teams, the Lakers, and their interest in Simmons. I personally like it. I don't think you need a lot of main guys. I think you need some role players with the right main guys. And I think that I think Westbrook is just the wrong main guy to have. I like to see them bring in Simmons and which would be a good role player for defense and facilitating the ball better and getting more of their main guys involved. And I think that would make the team work out better. Personally, Freddie, what do you got?
Genie Bus, do not do this. Keep that man far, far, far away from LA. Do not bring him to LA. I mean, it's not a great fit. Hell,
oh yeah, and Westbrook was?
Hell, if you let me finish, this Westbrook fit is not a great fit. And one thing about at least Westbrook shoot the ball. And you talking about a guy and Ben Simmons who can't even shoot? I mean, this is not a great fit at all. Please do not do it. I mean, what position he's going to play? If anything, if you're going to trade anything, trade Westbrook and get us a shooter. That's what we can do. What you can do, get us a shooter. Hell, our offense looked better when LeBron is making the moves, when he's facilitating. When the offense is going through him, we look a lot better. So we don't need a guy by the name of Ben Simmons to facilitate the ball. We already have that. We just need somebody when they collapse the defense, that when the AD is getting double teamed, we can kick it out there to that 3-point line, and it's pretty much a guarantee that it's gonna go down for 3. That's what we need. Hey, wouldn't mind if we can. Hey, now if you talking about Miles Turner or Sabonis, hey, I'm all in. Let's go get him. I'm all in. But no, we don't need Ben Simmons. Kenny, you muted, bro.
All right, the other resident Laker fan, Big Phil, what you got, man?
Can we put Doug's comment on the screen, please? Thank you.
I think Freddie just
Thank you.
I was a
The
happy
floor is
Laker
yours.
fan. And you know what? I've been tolerating Westbrook until I seen this comment pop up on Facebook today.
Oh
I'm,
yeah,
He
I'm
ain't
gonna
no
read it.
winner.
I want to read
he
it
don't
for the
care about
viewers.
championships.
I'm
Nah.
gonna read it for the viewers. He said, "If we win a championship, cool. If we don't, I'm okay with that too." And life goes on. Tell me when any Lakers superstar ever had that kind of mindset in LA. I'm waiting.
Apologize to Kevin Durant.
Hmm.
Who?
Whoever was bashing him for leaving Russ.
Man. So
All
look,
right,
I
Big
think
Phil, what you got?
the Lakers. What we need defense and we need shooting, right? I don't believe there's a wing defender out there that we can get that fits both of those needs, and we don't have the trade capital to acquire somebody of that caliber. So, and the best bet we can get right now is a Miles Turner, someone who can protect the rim, he can shoot the three, and he could push AD back to the four. I think that's our best bet right now. He'll be a little bit of a cheaper option, but we don't have the trade capital, nor is there a player in the market that we can get right now.
Okay, Coach Dante, what you got?
I would love Miles Turner with the Lakers. Just the reason Phil said, and I've been saying he can stretch the floor, and he also a great rim protector, and he can guard point. He can get out there and switch on pick and rolls and guard pretty well, guard the perimeter pretty well at that. But I believe I prefer them not to do that move. You're gonna be worse at the point guard position than you are right now. You're gonna be way worse. If you want to say Ben Simmons can switch to the four, if he switched to the four, I believe that would be better because like I say, Anthony Davis can shoot. Anthony Davis can shoot outside, and when Ben Simmons has the ball in transition, he can find anyone. I believe his best option is in transition and on the defensive side of the ball. Other than that, I believe the Lakers is worse at the point guard position when you get Ben Simmons. Can he shoot? No, because he can't. He's 53% from the free throw line. So that tells you he actually really cannot shoot. He's scared to shoot the ball. He's even scared to go to the free throw line and even scared to take a layup. So I believe if you can pull off a Miles Turner, I believe the Lakers would get better. I believe the Lakers would get better with his outside shooting, his rim protector, and his ability to switch on the pick and roll, and it won't be a mismatch. I would love that move.
All right, Ray, what's your thoughts on Ben Simmons?
It's not a fit. I can't imagine them closing the game with LeBron, Ben Simmons, Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, or whoever else they have in there with Malik Monk. There's no shooting. The court would shrink exponentially, and LeBron needs space. So I just don't see it. It doesn't make any sense. And it's not even, we keep saying that he can't shoot. He won't shoot. That's the bigger issue. He won't even try to. So at least Russ, you got to at least honor the fact that if he attacks the basket or if he pulls up, he will actually shoot it. Ben Simmons, they wouldn't even close out on him because he won't shoot the ball. And just for clarity, Anthony Davis is shooting 19% from three this year. He's been far below average as far as shooting, on top of all the other things that have been down for him this year. So it doesn't make sense. They need to make
let's
moves.
let's not act like we don't know why. I mean, I heard Phil talk about it. It's just hard to tell me a guy that came to LA just dominant as he was, and then all of a sudden he just fall off. No, Russell Westbrook has something to do with this, man. And I'm trying to tell y'all this. If you guys watch the Lakers basketball, I'm looking at Russ trying to give AD the ball. Them two are not connected at all. Them two are not connected at all. And Kenny, and you know this like a fact. When you have the third option can't be doing what he was doing when he was the first option. Russell Westbrook is damn near still averaging a triple double. I mean, hey, they're treating Anthony Davis like he's the third option. It needs to be changed. Russ need to be the third option. AD need to be our first or our second option. That's the problem. And
Well, AD has to demand that.
yeah, but
Thank
AD's
you.
not that type of. He's not that type of guy.
Well, then
But
he ain't gonna get it, especially
Well,
against
that's
Russ.
but
right there. That's
AD's
the
not
issue.
that type of guy. And when we won the championship, our first thing we went to get AD involved in the game. We put AD in the post and let him work. It's definitely not that anymore. Russell Westbrook that came to change the dynamic of the game. We're depending on a LeBron James to lead us. That's a problem. Hey, Russ got to go.
Wait, hold on. Did you say depending on LeBron James to lead your team is a problem?
What I said is,
I'm making sure I heard you right.
if we depend on a LeBron to lead our team, it is a problem. We need Anthony Davis to be that guy. We can't depend on LeBron every night to go out there and score 30, 35 points tonight for us to win. We need Anthony Davis to dominate.
This run LeBron on is not sustainable, and the record isn't showing that it's tied to a bunch of wins either.
And Ray, let's not sit up here and act like this team did not come into season not healthy. Let's not act like LeBron James did not miss about 11, 12 games this year. So let's not sit up there and do that as well, my brother. Just saying.
I'll be quick. I think all of the struggles and all of the, the issues with this team is due to a lack of chemistry. It's a lack of connectivity. You can see times where, if you watch Russ, you can see times where he's trying to get him the ball and the passes, it just looks bad. Like he's trying to find ways to get him the ball and the passes are off. They're not in sync. They don't have a rhythm. He doesn't know. He's trying to figure out how to get him the ball and where he wants the ball. So this is all a byproduct of growing pains of them trying to figure out how to play with each other. So this whole thing of blaming Westbrook, I think he's just an easy scapegoat at the end of the day. I think to Ray's point, one of the problems is that Anthony Davis has not been more assertive. And I think that's a problem. I think if LeBron James is your leader, then you tell Russ, yo, we got to make sure the first few touches go through AD. We get AD going first. You could get yours at any time. Get AD going first, and then we'll get ours on the back end. We'll get ours after he gets in the rhythm. So it's all of those things and all the communication that has to happen. But in terms of Ben Simmons, he helps you defensively, but he kills you offensively because it's already been stated. Because it on one end, he definitely would be an upgrade for you defensively because the Lakers have had some defensive challenges in terms of staying in front of the ball. Dribble drive, small guards have really hurt them. So I think that it would help them in that regard because Ben Simmons is a great defender. There's no mistaking about that. He can guard 1 through 5, so he would help them on that end. But to Ray's point, offensively, you got another guy that's a non-shooter, another guy that's a slasher that needs the ball in his hands, and so it's just not a good fit offensively and in the whole team dynamic. So, and mentally, the playoffs, you already got a guy that's kind of fragile mentally in LeBron. You put him with Ben Simmons, good Lord.
Well, gentlemen, man, it's been a great episode tonight. It was hot, fire. I got some breaking news to come to the network. I thought about this whole show. Phil, he's gonna be on this. I have a new show that's debuted on Wednesday night. Phil's gonna be on there. Jonathan Matt is gonna be on there, and a few others. I'm gonna just play the little intro just to give you a little teaser what it's gonna be like. So y'all make sure y'all tune in to us this coming Wednesday night. It's gonna be epic. We're gonna be talking about that purple and gold because that's what we do. That's what we do.
So does that mean you're not going to? So that mean now you won't have to. We won't have to listen to your same Lakers takes on Real Talk anymore. So you can get them all off on that show.
Kenny, would that make you happy?
Very.
Well, then no. You know what that's not what it means. But,
hey, real quick, since we've done NBA before we get out of here, I do gotta give some love, and we haven't talked about him since I've been on the show. But we need to give the Cleveland Cavaliers some respect.
Oh, for sure.
Boys is playing. with a bunch of nobodies out there. They play hard, they play consistent, and I'm excited to see what they got going. But I know we ain't really talked about them yet, but I think they're for real. I didn't jump on the Wizards train because I didn't know if that was real or the Knicks train, but I think that Cavs train is real.
Yeah, Evan Mobley has come in and been a great fit. And just imagine if they still had a young fella that got hurt, Colin Sexton.
Yeah,
because Garland is playing really well.
Allen and Mobley, that's been a good pairing for two big men. That's been a really good pairing.
Yeah, you got Allen. That's what I mean. You got a great young core. You got those two young guards and those two young bigs. You really they had a chance to build something there. And also, let's give credit. Coach was talking about giving credit to Stephen Silas. Let's give credit to JB Bickerstaff. He's doing a great job with that young team. And with our people, unfortunately, most of the times the opportunities that we get as a head coach, we don't get the Steve Nash situation. We get these type of situations, and the fact that they've taken these situations and been able to build with them, that says a lot.
Yeah, Doolin, but Stephen Silas had to work with last year. James Harden being a childish person, lying to the public, knowing he's been out in LA and stuff. Stephen Silas didn't really get a fair shot. Then losing Christian Wood when we was in the 11-11 in the 8th spot, literally. We lost 20 games in a row. But I saw potential when we beat the Milwaukee Bucks last year. And it looked like a straight dumpster fire going in this year, 1-16. But I got to give Coach Stephen Silas a lot of credit.
Absolutely.
The rotations have been better. I was praising and killing Stephen Silas to put Josh Christopher in, let him play, don't send him down to the G League. And Şengün has just been a surprise, one of the surprise rookie, man. This guy's a playmaker, and he's a big guy, man. If he improves on his jump shot, which is he's shooting more, he can be unstoppable. And he's the best playmaker on the Rockets team by far, best big man playmaker, and that guy got a bright future. And he only 18 years old. Christian Wood is 25. You got Josh Christopher 19, Kevin Porter's 20, Jalen Green is 19. We got some good young studs, and we're gonna be right for the future, man. And so shout out to this team, how well they come back against a playoff contending Hawks team in Atlanta. And give credit to Stephen Silas, man. I just want to give a shout out to this Stephen Silas and how much he helped this culture, and he done a great job with this young team and this coaching staff.
Yep. Philip, I know it's your first night. You debut to the network. Let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
Hey, man.
Let them know what you do.
First and foremost, thank you, Freddie and Jay Ness, for allowing me to join the team. I look forward to pushing out great content, to speaking factual information about the sports that we love. I'm from New Orleans, man. I'm in the Army, and I do deal in public affairs. So I do videography, photography, and journalism for the Army. So this is right up my alley, man. I look forward to growing with y'all and build something great.
Yes, sir. But hey, you guys, make sure you guys check us out. Y'all, it's my dude Eric. What's going on, Eric, in the comments? Laker Nation. Hey, Kitty, you better be quiet. We coming out. We coming for you.
Just like roaches.
Yeah, Eric.
But guess what? We come to dominate. That's what we do. But hey, this is another great episode of Real Talk. Check us out on Viva TV, channel 598. Check us out on Roku. Tune back into the network in the morning, ASAP in the morning, 9 a.m. Central. It's going to be hot. Hey, until this next Thursday, your crew's out of here. You guys have a good rest of your Monday.
Yes, sir.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.